Okay, hey guys, this is your Kindred guide of Season 16. This will have everything you need to, get started with the champion. There's not much else outside this guide that you would have to look for. You got your marks, you got your, general game plan you should follow, builds, runes, jungle pets. We got gameplay we can review of my own, and this will help you, be able to follow this champion at a decent level, I would say, if you have the hands. So, mentioning hands, this champion does require mechanics. There's no cope excuse or whatever. Like, you need hands for you to make it work and to actually climb. So if you don't have hands, you can always train them. You can always get better at the game. You can always learn the game so you can get smarter. Through VOD reviews, you can always get better mechanics by fighting and skirmishing a lot and just getting trained reps. So we're gonna go over that. I've been playing this champion for a long time, so I can give you guys all the advice I have. People love watching me play this champ, so let's get into the guide and let's learn. So first, it's Kindred's identity. She's pretty much an AD carry. Simple as that. But you play in the jungle role. So usually, the jungle role doesn't need to go through lane. Like, the average AD carry needs to lane and stuff. You can hit their item breakpoints. But in jungle, you just farm camps and then you play your skirmish with your team. Same thing while you're playing AD carry. You kind of rely on your support. You kind of rely on someone to frontline and engage for you. It's the same thing for Kindred jungle. Other than, slight, small things in the early game. So for pros and cons, she's an AD carry. So AD carries have some of the most insane damage numbers, DPS numbers, I guess, in the later stages of the game. Once they hit their 2, 3, 4 crit items, they do a shit ton of damage. Getting there is the hard part, but luckily, as a jungler, people should be playing around you a lot of the time, especially if you're playing Kindred. So you want to play for marks, and Kindred as a champion has very high mobility. That's what most AD carries actually lack, is just having good mobility. And usually the ones that do have mobility do lack kind of damage. But Kindred actually covers every factor in the game. She has mobility, she has damage, she has scaling, she has good itemization. It's just a very solid champion to pick up, but you still have to get to 4 marks, otherwise you're just a 500 range champion. So getting there might be hard sometimes if you get team gaps, and your champion's very fragile, as you are quite squishy compared to a champ like Graves, who is another marksman in the jungle. Because Graves has grid stacks, so he's naturally very tanky with his passive. But Kindred has nothing. She's just a glass cannon champion with lots of damage. That's why people go Triforce a lot on the champion. So, but if you are surrounded by good team comps, let's say you are duo with your support, duo with your mid laner, champions that bridge the game together to work together, you can function in the game quite well. So we're gonna learn more about it while we do the gameplay stuff, and what you guys should focus on later on while you're trying to learn this champion. Now for where the marks are, I don't know how people are people who play this champ. It's I'm not trying to flame. They ask me wait, how do you know the mark is going to be there and stuff? I'm confused when I read the comments sometimes. Again, I'm not flaming. I'm just confused. Did you guys not go to the LoL wiki or read somewhat of the champion's kit? Because I feel like for Kindred specifically, the marks are the most important thing you should focus on first. So her marks are detrimental to your game. And you must have this literally printed in your minds, so you know what to play for. And we're going to go through jungle tracking later, right? It's because tracking camps will allow you to be able to manifest fights that will lead into more marks, right? Because again, we want to get to 4 marks every game. If you don't have 4 marks, you're a 500 range champion. You can't auto attack. Once you get to 4 marks, you have 575 range, playable. Right, and then the more marks you get, 600 range, 625 range, every 3 marks after 4, you get 25 extra range. It's very insane for your game. You get more damage on your abilities, range. It's just insane how good her scaling is. So when you're 0 marks, it's always gonna be on the crab. 1, 2, 3 marks, crab after Gromp, 47, Krogs, Wolves, blue, red. 8 marks every neutral objective. Luckily, at the time of this recording, they actually finally fixed the Kindred marks where it's at 255. Before it was bugged, it was still at 315 on the start of season because Crab used to spawn, later on before, but now it's at 255. So they fixed that, it's chill. So, yeah, memorize this and make sure you already know this going into the game. If you don't know this by heart, start learning it by heart and then focus on the next thing. That is my advice. Yo, what's up, guys? So it's kind of like combo section for Kindred. So the first thing I want to cover is that usually most people will click on the icon to mark someone, but you can shift Z, like whichever one your F key is on pretty much. So in your keybinds, did it show here actually? Sorry, one sec. Okay, right here. These are your F keys, pretty much. You can have it binded on ZXCV2, which are what my F keys are on. So as you can see here, I have on ZXCV. So that means I would have to rebind this. So like Shift Z, right? And that will allow you, without needing to click this, you press Shift Z, it will mark the first target. So it's defaulting on your F keys because that's what they usually are on. But if you change it like me on ZXCV, that is one way of, marking someone. The next thing I want to cover is ultimate. So for your ultimates, your ult will always be where Kindred is standing. So that means our flashing does not work. You see? I'm gonna do it again. So you always, if you're trying to save your teammate, you either, Q forward then ults, right? Like, or you flash R. Those are like kind of like small things. Now, the next thing is your combos. So usually the most standard combo to do when playing Kindred is you QW auto and then you auto, and then usually you will E when they get low enough, and then boom, right? It's like your most standard. Dude, what is this? Okay. So, other than that, usually, at a certain point in the game where you kind of have enough damage, or let's say you're chasing someone down, usually you can E at the beginning, right? So the way I like using E, and what you're supposed to do, is you're supposed to use E in your Q animation. So look. You see? Like that. And it basically does it all at once. So what you're gonna do when you're like fighting, let's say later on, you're gonna QWE, then auto, and then Q again. And I'll proc the E proc. It will proc the E. And it's very important for you to recognize when you should E. But usually in the early game, you'll E at around 78% HP, 60% HP. Later on in the game, you'll usually E at full, especially if it's a squishy target. If it's not a squishy target, you can hold it unless you're like chasing him down in the fights. The next thing I want to show you, let me kill this crowd one sec. Okay, so when you W, so the way I have it, why I have it like this, where it shows me where I can place my W, is that my QWER is quick cast, right? So you just Q. Then when I hold shift, it gives me indicator. So that's just how I have it. So when you W, so you see how big it is, right? You can play right at the edge, you see? I'm right at the edge. And this is something that most people will not abuse on Kindred. I think I'm like one of the only players that are actually like very mindful of it while playing this champion. That's why like it looks kind of like crazy when I play her. Because a lot of the time, I'll be standing at the edge and I'll still be getting Qs off. I'll still be playing inside the whole time. And getting one more last Q or getting extra Qs. And you can see it while I teamfight on this champ. Whoever's watched me for a long time. That's why like people. Oh my god, I'm getting Karthus ulted. What? Okay. So, yeah, it's Kha'Zix right there. So, by the way, yeah, playing in a W is very. It'll make the difference between like a skill difference between, you know, Kindred players who can or cannot do it. Yo, what's Blood doing over there? He just stared at me. Let me kill him real quick. Okay. And then I think it's really important for you to have a cast, like a click. The reason is because Kindred's range increases when she hits 4 marks and then every 3 marks. And getting used to the range, to me, is very important, because remember, like, when you get more marks, now your E is going to be higher range, and then, you know, your Q, you can go Q forward and, like, auto people from a higher distance, and it's pretty good to get used to, like, your range breakpoints. Of course, it's not that easy, you can't just do it in a short amount of games, but, you know, when you play her enough, and you know, you get your 7 marks once in a while, 10 marks, you'll understand your damage range, and like the more you can do with it, you understand you can go past your limits more and more. Like I know my my range breakpoints all the way till 13 very well. I played the champ for a long time, so like it's understandable where it's like I should, because you know the more marks you get, the higher carry potential you have, because you can push yourself further. Now for wall hops, oh, he's back. Okay, for wall hops, there's only a few that really matter. There's a lot of wall hops you can do, like this one, you know. But the ones that are most common that I use in my games are like this. Yeah, I'm killing this guy. Here's this one. This one I like wall hopping a lot too. You got this. It's really obvious which wall you can hop if you understand your Q range. Like, so this one's hoppable, right? Then this one, you can't, right? But here, you can do this. You know? Same thing with this one. You can do this. You can definitely do this. Capo, this one. Here, you cannot do. This is too big of a wall. Here, you can do. Here, I just messed it up before, so. Like, this one's a wall hop I like doing. Now for this wall hop, let's say, for the guys who want to be special, you just have to click in these flowers. Oh. Here, wait. Yeah, here. You just have to click here. Here it's on the flower. Okay, dude, I'm like so bad at this one. So, it's like sometimes I just do it randomly in the game. Like I did the other day too. Just like this one too. I think this one's like right here. I'm getting Karthus ult again, but yeah, I'm pretty bad at these wall hops, but I think if you get good at them, I'm sure like there's like a Force Within video that still is viable to watch to this day. You guys can check him out. He was really good at these wall hops. He literally practiced them every day, and he actually used them. I didn't practice. I mean, I just don't practice them. Like the ones that are like very unique like these, I just don't practice enough. Actually, this wall's a lot easier than that one. But yeah, just knowing the basic ones like this, you know. Oh. Okay, he just flashed. You know, like this is very important, because these are the ones you will use the most when you're team fighting. Like the areas where you're gonna fight the most, pretty much. You want to practice the most. If you go into practice to, and then you can have fun with like the more like crazy ones. But these are the ones you should get down, because these are the places where you're gonna fight a lot, right? You're gonna fight here. You know, you can fight here. You know, going this wall is very important. You know, like fighting here randomly, you can like extend your wall hop here, going here. Like these are the walls that will always matter more, you know. So if you can do these, you know, I give you props actually. Like seriously, if you can do these plus all of the basic ones, you're actually like you can be really good if you have mechanics on top of that. So you know, keep that in mind when you play Kindred. Other than that, like I mean, that's pretty much it. Mechanics wise, I mean, you're an 80 carry, so yeah, just learn how to position. You know, we will go over that while we watch like some gameplay that I have, and then you know we can learn together. By the way, next section. So for shards, simple as it is, you go attack speed shard always. You always take adaptive. never takes haste when you play Kindred. It's really bad. And for the third row, you can take Scaling Health, Fly HP, or Tenacity. The only well, I don't show you Fly HP on your screen, but you take Fly HP if they have very annoying champions early game and they might invade you. You take Scaling HP if basically you don't get invaded. And Tenacity is really good if you have high CC. It helps a lot in the early game. For primary runes, you got Conquer, Lethal, and PTA. You can read them. They're pretty much, they sum it up. But usually, my most go-to rune when I tell people, like when people are trying to learn Kindred, I always tell them to take PTA, as it's very simple, very straightforward. You just have to proc it with 3 autos, and then you have lots of damage. Conquer is very high skill, so is Lethal Tempo. Lethal Tempo kind of is more comp dependent. Conquer is if you're really good at the champion. It's usually the most preferred rune when you play in higher MMR games. But yeah, all of them are pretty good, but I would always suggest taking PTA. And now for the sub runes, you always take Triumph, never take the others. For the third row, now, you know, there's Alacrity, and then there's Bloodline. If you're used to the attack speed, or if you do get used to it, the lack of attack speed that you will usually get from Alacrity, Bloodline is actually very nice to have. The lifesteal and the extra HP you get when you have it fully stacked is very nice to have later on in the game. And I've been going a lot more recently, especially when I play like Lethal Tempo and PTA. The Conqueror, I'll usually go Alacrity because I think I don't really need the extra scaling. And then Coup and Cutdown are pretty much preference, but yeah, differences are which build you're going and how tanky they are, usually. The secondary runes, there's only 2 trees you can take. 2 different trees. Inspiration or Domination. You either take Triple Tonic with Jackal trades, you can go Free Boots with Jackal trades, or you can go with your basic Free Boots Cosmic. All of them are good. I would say it's all preference or even depending on builds. But usually, because I'm a very big believer in buying Triforce with Jack of all trades and just having the most stats possible, I think this is, yeah, the first row is probably the best runes you can take second. Some games you can go Domination, like Ulti Hunter is very nice. Usually I would only take Domination if I want Ulti Hunter. Treasure Hunter and Relentless Hunter, and kind of whatever, to be honest. But, you know, it's all preference, your secondary runes. There's no straight up better one. But yeah, my preference is taking Jack of all trades in most of my games with Free Boots. So let's go over jungle pets before we go into the builds. Because of course when you get into a game, there's a jungle pet you have to choose. And that's the only time you can choose it. You can't swap them out unless you want to lose out on gold, I think. I don't know how it works if you want to swap later. But either way, there's green, red, and blue smites. My most preferred is taking red smite, because red smite is very nice for the extra slow and damage. It allows you to like chase people down. It's very OP. Like, it's very nice. And also, if you didn't know, like the burn sometimes when you buy collector, it might just randomly collect the enemy when they're low, because they're like burning, right, from the red smites. So it's very nice. It's the strongest smite by far on Kindred. The others are kind of whatever. I think in terms of strength, it's red, green, then blue. I think blue is kind of mid. At the higher movement speed, you don't really need it. She's already very mobile. So having more tankiness or more like kind of utility kind of damage is way better on this champion. So let's talk about Zeal Items before I get into builds. I show PD in most of the builds later because I think it's just very OP to buy this item if you know how to use it. But of course, you know, it takes practice to use it at its full, like, to use it at its fullest. But you can go Rapfire, you can go Brunans, Navori. Never go Fiendish. I don't know what this new Zeal item they made. I forgot the name already. But don't build it, please. Thank you. PD is very good if you can use it very well. Rapid Fire is very nice with crit builds because Kindred, if you didn't know, is actually a great poking champion at times. You know, when you get your marks and you have like 3-4 items, you can like Q forward and get good damage off, 200-300 damage off. That paired with the Red Smite is very insane. The Runans, obviously, build it when they have a lot of short range champions, melee type champions. And then Navori is very nice if you really want a lower QW, like if you want lower QW CD versus the enemy comp. Basically, they have high dive. And you really want to kite the enemy team. First build, Kraken Collector, probably the most like basic build, known build on this champion. Very high in damage, very good when snowballing, very high carry potential. Very straightforward. You buy Kraken because it's her strongest first item in terms of damage and stats, and then you buy a shit ton of crit items. Also, I don't know if you heard that vehicle outside. Sorry, but either way, yeah, you want to cap out your build with BT, and usually you want to take PTA with this build. You can go Conquer, but PTA is usually ideal. Kraken Triforce. This is one of my favorite builds. It's very high in tempo, has a lot of damage, a lot of like tankiness, a lot of like ways to kite the enemy and like just not be that easy to kill. Usually you do need to play for marks. Well, it does allow you to play for marks very easily because buying Cleaver or Triforce, the Phage, is very nice when trying to play for marks. It makes you be able to chase, be able to kite the opponents, and just not get one shots. Then after that, usually you just buy situational items. You can go LDR also third to just cap all your damage. LDR is all the damage you really need when you buy this, buy these kind of items. And sometimes you can go with center PD. You can also go like Jack of all trades with this kind of build. All very good. Kraken Cleaver, very good in double AUC comps because, you know, your double carries, and also going Cleaver, it makes your ult CD a lot shorter. It's very nice. And then you basically buy items that make you a lot harder to kill. You can go Bork if you want to have a lot more damage, but usually your main item that you're going to cap out on is BT because this item gives you a lot of ED after level 14. It's just how the item is, and your goal is to just be kind of mid/frontlining and just ulting for your tank and just doing as much damage as possible, proccing your Cleaver for your secondary carry to carry the game. And usually you need a lot of marks if you want to not lack too much damage. Kraken Wits End. So there's two ways you can build it. You go Kraken Wits into Cleaver or LDR, and then you buy other items. Basically, when you play on hit on Kindred, the main thing you need to understand is that when people complain, bitch and complain, like, oh, I don't do damage when playing on hit. Well, that's probably because you have no marks. The reason why on hit is very good and why you see me build it a lot is because it makes the components are very nice, very cheap compared to crit items, and they spike you very hard, the components. The full crit items, they spike harder, of course, but buying the components into the item is very insane. It makes you very tanky and allows you to play for a lot of marks. And the way you make up for the lack of damage items you buy, because of course crit items have more damage than on-hit items, is by getting marks. Marks will allow you to, it will make up for everything. They're just OP, simple as it is. Triforce Collector, very simple. You buy crit after Triforce. It is probably the best build you should learn. Kraken Collector is a really good build. You should learn Kraken Triforce and Triforce Collector. These are all three builds that any Kindred player should know how to play. If you don't know how to play these three builds, you are, I don't know what you're doing on this champion. Like, these are the most fundamental builds that you need to know how to play. They are the most consistent builds you can do on this champion, and some of the highest carry builds you can do. Kraken Cleaver is also one, but I don't really think lower evil players can really, you know, learn it that fast compared to crit builds. Crit builds are very simple. They only need 4 marks. Jeff Bezos. This is main character build. I do these kind of builds when I play Philios because IE is a very strong item. You only do this when you actually are able to buy the BS recall and you want to go IE. And then for second, you can go PD or Runeans. You can eventually buy the second other Zeal item later on. You can buy like a PD later, Runeans later, Rapid Fire later, whichever one you didn't buy. Just make sure you don't go 3 Zeal items, please. You're going to do no damage. And then the only real damage items you need is LDR and IE. The rest can be complete utility. So PD, Rapid Fire, very nice. Runeans PD is very nice. PD Shield Bow makes it a bit tankier with BT last item. Very strong high carry build. You can take any rune with this build, and it's very fun. And the games you can't do it, you're gonna have the most dopamine, trust me. Jack of all trades Kindred. This is a build I kind of started. You go Triforce LDR, and you want to go Tab by Wits End. You can also do this with Merc Treads, Randuins to max out on stacks, but usually you want to do this build with Tab by Wits End because this will give you max stacks. It has the most stats possible for you to play the game. I think Kindred's issue last season especially was the lack of kind of damage early, lack of stats. And if you went this, it will allow you to play the early game a lot better. This season, I think it's not as bad, but I still think she does lack a bit in the early game. But if you are able to scale, I think you're very broken. And this build, the way the setup goes, you will have lots of ways to fight like anyone and just have damage. So you get to the point where you're unstoppable. The only time I would suggest you do this build is if you're really skeptical of like playing with Collector. So to me, honestly, if you're a noob, because Collector is very OP on her. But there are sometimes where you should do this build, is if you just want to be very, very OP on your 3 items, like 3-4 items, like when you're 3 crit items. Because sometimes when you go Collector, you might not always be able to go, i.e., like after your 2, like after Collector LDR, if you do that build. You know, sometimes you might want to go Zeal, or you want to buy Shield Bow or something. So this, like, this IE item, to me, this season is very OP. So this build is not bad if you want the... It's like... It's pretty consistent, I would say, if you really want to do it. But you do need to get the BF Sword Recall when you're buying your second item. Because if you're relying on just buying Pickaxe and just, like, getting BF Sword Recall later on, I mean, it's kind of hard to itemize. Bruiser, Kindred. Very high in haste. Very good for your ultimate CD especially. The way this build works, it's basically on hits. You need to get marks, and I mean, you have so much HP to play with. You actually have a decent amount of damage also early on. You should be able to play for marks quite easily. You're very tanky. You will still do a decent amount of damage. Usually with this build, you can go Conquer or Lethal, but I think when you're learning this build, I think you should go PTA, and then when you get better at playing for marks and better at playing the fights using your ultimates, that's where you should start playing it with Conquer and Lethal. It's very OP if you know how to play this build. This build will lack damage if you run it down. If you're buying these items and you just keep dying, or even you die once, twice, 3 times especially, you will do negative damage. It is a very snowball-y build. You must snowball with marks. If you're not getting a lot of marks, you're going to start doing less and less damage. But if you are snowballing, if you are playing well, this build, it makes you very hard to kill and it's very slippery in fights. When you're Traverse Wits End with Tab Eyes especially, this is a very premier combo on this champion. Buying Wits End and Tab Eyes together, you are very slippery, very hard to kill. You can't really be one shot. It's very OP and has decent amount of damage. And then you want to buy LDR, which is all the damage you really need on this champion, especially when you're getting marks. This build is very good when you're playing Jack of all trades especially. This is kind of the same as the build I just showed you, because you're going PD. Again, if you die, you're going to start doing negative damage. But this build has a lot of dopamine, but it's very mechanics like reliance. You need to have good hands. You will get LDR third, so you don't just have 0 damage. And after that, you just build whatever you want, to be honest. Just make sure you cap out your build with IE and BT. And you want to go like lethal usually with this kind of build, because you have a shit ton of attack speed and movement speed to be able to like go in and out of the fights. Yuntal IE. Do not force this build unless you want to completely coin flip every single game you play in the, like, it's just so troll to force this build. I don't understand the obsession, especially lower and more players would be like, oh, Yuntal this, BF Sword recalls, Storm Razor first. Like, these kind of items are so hard to build and the stats on them are not even good. They're actually like, whoever's saying Stormers is good and stuff, like Yuntal is good, they're complete gaslighting you. These items are actually really trash, but honestly, if you're able to hit them and you want to have some fun, they're actually very fun to play. But they're actually, in reality, they're not very strong compared to the other builds, the more consistent builds. But if you do hit this build, and when you do, you want to usually play it with with lethal tempo, because it gives you a lot of attack speed, and you just cap out your build with more crit items. Yuntal Bruiser. This build, I mean, you're basically using Yuntal with lethal tempo. Has very good synergy with it. So this build, I'd rather suggest you do this build when you play Yuntal, because you can't mess it up. It won't lack damage. You're gonna be able to play the game, and you just play for marks. You're most likely snowballing when you buy Yuntal anyways, because getting BF Sword first recall means that you got like 1 or 2 kills early game, so you're able to buy it. This is Yuntal Triforce crit, which is the last one was on hit. This one's crits. So yeah, you just buy Yuntal Triforce and you buy crit. This one's also really good to do, because you're buying crits, so you're always gonna do damage. But again, do not force this build unless you get a BF Sword recall. But of course, Yuntal has a longsword component compared to Stormrazor. So if you're a dagger sword and you randomly get a BF Sword recall on your second like recall, you can do this build. This build is kind of for fun, but it's pretty fun to do if you're Giga Snowballing. You gotta rely on your hands. You have to have really good hands to play this kind of build because it's a lot of attack speed, a lot of movement speed. So you need to be able to play the fights very well. You really need marks with this build because it's very low on AD. But once you hit LDR, you're not gonna have a damage issue. But yeah, most likely you're Omega Snowballing. When you're Yuntal Zeal, you actually have so much attack speed. You can basically kill like, I mean, you can space call anyone pretty much. It's very fun to do if you play it well. Attack speed, Steroid 2.0. Well, this one, you're buying Woodsend, so most likely they have heavy AP. That's one reason why you would ever buy Woodsend first or second on this champion. And then you buy Lord Dominik's or Cleaver. If you decide to go on hits, you probably should buy Bork and then cap out your build with BT. Either way, you just buy crit, LDR IE, you know, that's also good. You kind of need 7 plus marks to not have 0 damage, so make sure you are playing for marks when playing these builds. Wits and Rush. You should only do this when they literally have 3 plus AP. And then you want to buy either on hit, or you want to go into on hit or crits. Usually I would go on hits, because if you're already playing Wits and Rush, that means you're kind of playing more bruiser style, so you kind of need to play for marks anyways. But yeah, usually, if they're not double EP mid-jungle, you should not do this build. It's not bad, because you're very hard to kill, and you kind of rely on your lethal tempo plus your marks to do damage. So, keep that in mind when you play it. Tank Shred build. There's also Kraken Bork Cleaver, but we're gonna look at this one. This one's really good when you kind of want the lifesteal. Usually I like doing this build with versus Rammus because you take a lot of random damage while hitting him, and Bork kind of makes up for the random HP loss, so you don't like randomly just dying for fun. So Bork Cleaver is very nice, and you usually want to go Witsend PD BT. That's usually my full build, or even Runeans. Like, this is pretty good into shorter range comps, because you're usually Conquer or Lethal if you're playing this build. You should never take BTA, because you're playing for the prolonged fights. It scales pretty well, especially when you have a lot of marks. Bork Crit build. So, it's kind of like Kraken Triforce, but you're buying Bork. It's pretty fun to do. Bork is a very good item. It scales very good throughout the game, because, you know, once people get more and more in HP, the more value the item has. Yeah, this build's not bad. I mean, usually I suggest you go Kraken Triforce, but if you want to have some fun, this build is pretty good. You just buy crits, and simple as it is, build's going to do damage. You go Conquer or Lethal Tempo with this build. High Tempo. Kraken PD. If you're snowballing, this build is very fun to play. It is very hard to play, though, at the same time. And you want to be Lethal or Conquer when you play it. You're hard snowballing, and you're kind of making fun of the enemy team. It's kind of a noob stomp build. People have seen me do it a lot, and they see why it can be good. But when people try it, they wonder like, "Oh, I'm doing no damage." Well, that's probably because you are not snowballing. You randomly int, or you just don't have marks. So this build is kind of reliant on your skill level, but if you do know when you should do it, it is very rewarding to play. Some of these builds I show you guys in this whole video are kind of depending on your skill level, and if you get good at them, you're gonna feel the reward. Like, when I play them, it's very fun, but when I was first playing this champion, I was playing more Triforce Collector, Kraken Collector, and stuff. But when I got better and really insane at this champion, I can do any of these kind of builds, and it feels very fun to play when you are playing well. This is basically what I was talking about earlier. The most tank shredding build. You can kill pretty much anything, especially when you have a shit ton of marks. It is very annoying to play against a Kindred with this build when the player has 7-10 marks, because 1, they have a lot of damage. 2, they can kill anything, squishy or tank, but usually you want to build this when they have high HP champions. And 3, they're very hard to kill. They have a lot of HP, a lot of sustain, and a lot of like resistances. It's very good and very high. It's also another like higher kind of skill build, because you need to play the champion very well, and you need to have marks. You need 7+ marks with this kind of build. Like I said, with on-hit builds, usually my rule of thumb with on-hit builds, you need 7+ marks, so you're not doing negative damage. With crit builds, you only need 4 marks, because you just need the extra range. But, you know, the more marks you get, the more damage you get on this champion. So keep that in mind. You are rich, the richest player in the lobby. Well, it's not like the Jeff Bezos build. I mean, this build is kind of whatever. I don't like Stormrazor because this item is not even that good compared to the other items. It doesn't even do that much damage, and the utility of it is actually like kind of whatever. Like, you can tell it's actually just a better item, I would say. But if you do end up wanting to do this build because you want to be on the higher carry side while playing this champion, you're most likely dropping a lot of kills in this type of game. You should not force this build unless you get Stormrazor and you're Omega snowballing. So usually when you do rush this item, you want to go into IE and then LDR, and then you want to buy any of the situational items. Usually I would go Rapid Fire because Stormrazor Rapid Fire allows you to chase champions down. You can also go PD if you already have like 10 plus marks, meaning like you're Giga Snowballing, or you can go Shubo BT combo, which makes you very tanky. And usually you want to go PTA. This is kind of the chasing build. It's kind of similar to the other one that we just looked at, but with Kraken. Kraken Stormrazor has high chase potential. Basically, your build should look like Kraken Stormrazor with like IE LDR Rapid Fire. And I mean, it's just a worse Kraken collector, honestly. But if you want to have some fun, because you want to have like get like the dopamine from like autoing them and getting a shit ton of movement speed, be my guest. But it's a complete for fun build. It's more for like chasing people down. There was one kind of similar to this back in the day in Season 10, but that's when Stormrazor was kind of a stronger item, and you had Warrior back then. But yeah, kind of for fun build, but it's pretty fun when you do it. Noob Stomp. Very TikTok, very ADHD build. But have you seen, I mean, you guys have probably seen me do this build before if you've watched me for a long time. It's very fun to do when you're snowballing. And as it says in like the points down below, it says lobby admin. You're basically going to, I mean, you're going to run the whole game. You're going to kill everyone in the game. So you go Yumu Collector, and then with this build, you can go items like Stormrazor Rapidfire combo with LDR. But I mean, it's kind of troll. I mean, LDR is not a must buy, to be honest, with this build. In my opinion, when you should do this build, usually they shouldn't be tanky. They should be very squishy. So you go Yumu Collector into Stormrazor, i.e. Rapidfire. You have so much range, so much damage that, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't really need LDR. I know it says below that Collector, LDR are all the damage, well, is all the damage you need, but I mean, I don't know. Just have some fun. It's kind of, it's a pure ADHD build anyways, but yeah. Yo, so let's get into the master portion of this guide, and we're gonna go like A to Z pretty much, so, you know, don't worry. We'll go through all the champions that you will most likely verse in the jungle role. So let's start with Aatrox. Personally, I think Aatrox is very easy to play against, as you can dodge all his abilities, and if you go items like Kraken into Cleaver, or you can go Travelers into More Reminder, I mean, you always have ways to deal with him. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much free scaling. I mean, Aatrox isn't as OP as he was when he first got introduced into the jungle, so it's completely a chill matchup. Now you just kind of just farm. Next matchup, Ambessa. Oh wait, this is it says 60-50, not 40. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, Ambessa, I think it's more inferior of you. I feel like this champion doesn't really do much in the jungle. She kind of just clears, and she's a strong like skirmisher, right? So if like the champion gets ahead in the skirmish, she like wins like a couple, then like it'll be strong. Otherwise, like in a dead even game, and you guys are kind of just full clearing, it's usually like I prefer it on the Kindred side. So it's most likely like going to be comp diff, because this champion needs to dive with other champions. If it's solo diving, I mean, Kindred is an anti-dive champion, so they played well. Amumu, to me, is very easy to play against, because one, you're a Woodsend user, you can easily buy Merc Treads, and I mean, you can just go with like Triforce LDR, or like you can go Kraken Woodsend, like just get marks, and he can never really like fight you 1v1 if you don't like strip into the champion. Next matchup, let's see. Bel'Veth. It is the most unplayable matchup in the game if Bel'Veth player is good and they get cheeses. Let's pull out the Rift Kit real quick. So against the champion, you must make sure you have to ward like your entrances. Like you have to ward like this. You have to ward like this. You know, like you need to have these warded. Otherwise, like he will walk in, take the camp, or he can like do like this kind of invade where he just takes this. Another invade he can do is just like going all the way around top side while you're starting red buff, and then he just starts your wolves. Like there's a lot of ways this champion can invade. It's not the end of the world though. The only bad invade that like you really need to avoid is if she invades the same side you start. So if you're starting red buff as Kindred like this and he walks in, it's really bad because he will kill this bot before you even kill your red buff, and then he will just fight you. So ideally, usually against a champion, if you don't really know, if you don't exactly see him, like let's say he's like not here, you don't have vision on him, I would always ideally say start a non-buff camp, as like there's no risk, like you won't get like too screwed over, and then you also level up a camp. Usually a champ like Bel'Veth, because like they suck at clearing the buffs and they're better at clearing the non-buff camps. Leveling up your camps are actually quite good, and just make sure you just keep getting them, and then like just play for your mark slowly with your team. And usually you're like way stronger in more numbers fights, like, but she's stronger in the 1v1, so keep that in mind when you play against Bel'Veth. Brand, it's like easy but also 60-40 because you are way stronger level 1, 2, and level 1, 2, so you usually want to invade a level 1 or 2, ideally level 2, because this champion's like really bad until level 3, like once it has all points in his abilities. But later on, when it's like, let's say if it's paired with like a CC support, like they have a Rel, they have like a Nautilus, whatever, and you don't have like someone who can like tank, like, I mean, you guys just take a lot of damage, right? Because Brand has a lot of AoE damage, so like you just need to try to get a small lead and just keep farming, and then make sure he doesn't like randomly get gold, because like this champion requires very little gold. So like once he hits like 1.5 item, he's basically like full build. Like he doesn't need much more money to like functioning in the game. Like he needs Leandry's Sword Shoes, and then like, I don't know, like his second item can be whatever. Like he's actually just such a low econ jungler while you need a lot more gold. So just farm a lot in the matchup. If you ever verse Asol jungle, I mean, I've seen this champion in jungle. I mean, it's very easy. I mean, like you always stat check him. Just like fight him level 2. Level 1, he actually has like decent damage, but level 2, I mean, he will always lose to you. So there's level 2 invade in this matchup if you can always. Otherwise, just free skill and buy like your crit items. Briar, to me, okay. For me, it's very easy, right? But I think for the average player, I think it's skill or 60-40, just because mechanically, most people just are really, they play Kindred pretty poorly. The only, okay, so I'm going to put her in 60-40, even though I think it's really easy to play. For me personally, and any like decent challenger jungler or decent Kindred player, I feel like you have to be a high challenger player, honestly, I don't know. My average player is just kind of a noob. All you have to do against this champion is just dodge Z. That's the only ability that matters on this champion that actually like makes the difference. Her Q and W, yes, like it's really easy for them to like get on you, but like the E, like the damage it does, and the CC when you get pushed up against the wall, that's kind of freaky low-key. But like, yeah, it's like the only ability that you need to be mindful of and just dodge. And that's why I find it very easy, because like as long as you have like your Q, I mean, you always like win the damage check. It's only annoying to play against if he has the infinite kills though, but even then, like, it's still playable. Next matchup, oh, Camille. I mean, I put Asol jungle, so I might as well put Camille jungle. I mean, it can't farm, so just out farm it and just outscale it. It needs to cheese gank. Cho'Gath jungle, I think, though it's an easy matchup, it still can be very spooky if he has good champions on his team, because his zone control with his Q, his like knock up, and his silence can definitely like catch you off guard, and then he can just randomly die because you can't like press your abilities, and then like you get chain CC'd or something. So just be mindful of getting knocked up. Silence is like pretty hard to dodge, I would say, but the knock up, like, you should be very mindful of, and you should dodge it, and then yeah, you should be able to like just out farm this matchup and just scale for free. Darius jungle was pretty hard to play when he was OP, just because he just did a lot of damage and his clear was fast. But current state of Darius jungle, I think it is like more favored for you. Honestly, it could be easy. I mean, the champion's like kind of weak in the jungle now. I feel like he's like kind of like Camille. He needs to like spam gank and like cheese. Diana is 60-40. The only time it would become like hard or maybe like kind of skillful is if they have Yasuo. If it's Diana Yasuo. But otherwise, either way in the isolated 1v1, your champion is fine into her. Like, you guys both do a lot of damage, but usually, like, you kind of win the stat check. Like, your components are usually better. Just that his one item might be stronger than yours, potentially. Like, I think Dusk and Dawn is probably stronger than Triforce. Doesn't mean you're gonna be, like, just straight up weak, but, I mean, just scale and, like, just keep farming and don't, like, randomly drop camps, because the champion is, like, kind of like Hecarim, which we'll talk about. Like, I mean, it's gonna be the same kind of thing. Like, if you randomly, like, die or you have to base and he can steal your camps, that's how they kind of get ahead, and then, like, you can't really deal with them because they are tankier than they should be. And they have more damage, like more items, more damage, more tankiness, more like over you. Yeah. So try not to like give camps. Mundo is pretty easy. I mean, you just scale for free, and your champion can deal with tanks very easily. Building items like Kraken Cleaver, Bork, going Triforce LDR, going Kraken Triforce. Like, I mean, you just buy LDR or Cleaver Bork in your build, and you will always be able to deal with tanks as long as you have 4 marks. So yeah, just play. Yeah, just go for free. Ekko jungle, again, I think, okay, so from all the Dusk and Dawn users, or like AP junglers in general, sorry for like the way I'm speaking, like, my bad. Ekko is the easiest to deal with because, one, the champ doesn't really one-shot unless he's spoon-fed and gets a lot of kills. 2, his abilities are very dodgeable unless you're caught off guard, of course. And 3, like, I mean, actually, that's it, honestly. I mean, like, it's just very easy to play against. Like, he really needs to get some kind of advantage in terms of, like, he's, like, killing your lanes and gets, like, a fat gold injection, or, like, he cheeses you. In Korea, when I played, there was this Ekko, I mean, these Ekkos, like, they would start, like, wolves or raptors, and then they would, like, come cheese me here. They would just come fight me here, and that's, like, one way for him to get ahead. It makes the game volatile, and, like, it can go either way. I mean, it's just a complete flip game where, like, whoever gets like the camp lead or the first kill or whatever, like, will usually snowball the game. So I mean, I don't think Ekko players are doing that in North America, at least. I don't know about US, but I know in Korea they did that a lot, and they probably are still doing it. But yeah, just be mindful of getting randomly Ekko cheesed. And level 3, his champion is actually strong, so I mean, he can definitely gank. But if it's a farming game, I mean, you are super happy, like, you don't really care. Elise, I mean, do I put in skill? I mean, like, it's just like, it's just a volatile jungler. Like, whoever plays better volatility just wins. So I guess, like, it's skill. Just because of the volatility factor. I mean, like, if she gets like her level 3 ganks, or like, and like she's able to invade, like, champion will be hard to deal with. So your job as a Kindred versus champs like this and like Nunu, let's say, is just to just farm and try to counter gank their ganks, because you're most likely playing the reactive part of the jungling in that kind of game anyways. If you're ever versus Draven jungle, it's kind of hard, I would say. I mean, he kind of stat checks you. I'll put in skill, but I mean, either side, I mean, whoever snowballs just wins, honestly. Both of you guys can stat check like the other, but I mean, Draven's easier to stat check on earlier on. I'm just putting random junglers, I don't know why, but I think it's fine. I mean, you guys can verse like anything in low elo. Like, I have to add Teemo to this like list anyways too, right? Evelynn, I think it's like just like Ekko, very easy to deal with. You're very strong also against these 2 champions too, like in others. You're very strong level 2 and level 3. Like, you kind of stat check them, so like invading is very OP against them. And then if you're playing full clear game, it's completely fine. Just make sure versus Evelynn that you're getting wards on their camps, so you know which side they're kind of on, and you can kind of guess which side they might be ganking, like when Evelynn is 6, so you can counter gank. Fiddle, I mean, this champ is kind of a team diff. I think it's like annoying. Like, this champ will be paired like it's like Karthus. Am I blind? It's like right here now. Oh. So Karthus is like more favored for you, but it can go either way. These matchups, just because of the nature of the champs and like the champs they're paired with, usually they want to be solo AP. Champs like Brand and Dana don't really care if they're double AP. Ekko and Evelynn want to be solo AP too. Like, these champs want to be solo AP, and the champs they're paired with are like pretty annoying to deal with. Like Tristana mid, Akshan mid, Zed mid, Kiana mid, Talon mid. Like, these champions will like bail out the weaknesses that they have that you can punish them on. So you like end up like, I mean, yeah, you just can't punish them, right? But of course, like, your champs could also be just as like can deal with their mid laner. So like, it's kind of like just like you and team diff. Like, it can be both factors. But against Karthus, let's talk about Fiddle first. yeah, just be careful with CC, and he puts 2 points in W when he clears, so he doesn't have fear. So if you can catch him on the 5th camp, whatever, 4th, 5th, 6th camp, I mean, you should win, because he has no fear. You will win the 1v1. Don't know if you win with Lethal, but I know for sure you win with PTA and Conquer. Lethal doesn't have enough damage early on. Karthus is hard to invade because his clear is too fast. But lucky thing is that you can dodge his abilities with his Q. I mean, you just have to dodge his Q, bro. Like, it's as simple as that, guys. Like, just dodge his Q, and then, yeah, you play the game. And you should, like, stat check him usually. It's only annoying if they take exhaust, because if they take exhaust now, I mean, it's pretty guaranteed for them to land Q unless they're really bad at the game. So, you have to be mindful when you're fighting him when he has exhaust and just, like, be able to have good movements. Fizz jungle, I mean, like, shit's useless. I mean, like, it's just like these champions. I mean, it's just weak. I mean, it's just team diff, honestly, if you ever lose to Fizz jungle. Gragas is only scary if he has Yasuo, but even then, this champion can't even clear his camps. So just out farm him and just scale for free. And he can never fight you 1v1. So again, another team diff champ, but like you completely out farm this champion. Like these champions, like you just out farm and it's like just free. They can't punish you. So like the easy matchup section, like all these champs, they can't really punish you honestly. Unless it's like actually team diff. Like, and so like isolated, like you're always happy. Graves used to be a skill matchup. I think it's more favored for Kindred nowadays, just because your items are better and your damage is higher than Graves. The only annoying part to play against this champion is that his early levels are actually strong. He's also more self-sufficient than you are. He can play more on his own while you kind of rely on your teammates a bit more than he does. And his smoke screen allows him to get like extra damage off while you just can't see him. So when you're fighting him usually, make sure you're able to dodge his like Q with your Q. And also I try to melee range him a lot, like just play up against him. So because if he ends up smoke screening me, at least he can't build up too much distance and he can't like space me to where like I can't auto him basically. And then like I can chase him down, because usually Kindred will stat check the Graves if it's even game. Of course, like it can be like complete a snowball game and Graves can win the matchup, so it will become more skill. But personally, like I think it's way favored for Kindred. Hecarim, I think, is skill. If it's a good Hecarim player and they're good at just knowing your Kindred strengths, so the Kindred strengths usually are, you know, level 2 invading randomly and just like playing for like slight skirmishes. But the advantage of Hecarim is that he clears very fast, and it's not like he's necessarily weak in early game. Like if he has 3 stacks on his Q, he actually does a lot of damage if he just ghosts at you. So the thing, when I verse Chasik, who is the best Hecarim in the world, and he plays in Korea, like he's the only person I've noticed that plays the matchup well. I think what's his name? Huncho also plays the matchup not bad too, where you shouldn't shit your pants just because he's invading. Because the thing is, Kindred's clearing is very bad unless she gets marks and like has like some kind of items. Like she for sure needs 1 or 2 marks in the early game and needs some components to be able to clear her camps. And the thing is, like Hecarim doesn't need anything. Like the champion's so strong with clearing just for the levels, so you just have to run around and play for camps and just track like what Kindred is doing. If you know what side he started, the Kindred started, and you're able to like distract him, then he would just play for the camps that you're not guarding basically. So your job as the Kindred is to make sure you get level 1 wards and just make sure that you know he's not getting away with bullshit on the map. And in terms of itemization, I like going crack in this matchup because I believe you need the extra damage to be able to deal with a champ like Hecarim, because he has a lot of built-in healing on his W, and it gives him resistances, I think, also. So he's quite tanky, I would say, and he builds like Shojin, so he has like decent amount of HP, but cracking kind of like solves that like issue. But if you do end up going Trog first, which is not bad, I suggest you go Mortal Reminder second, which is very good, and then you just buy IE. I mean, of course, if you can go Collector is nice, because Collector is always good, especially into tanks, because, you know, when you get them low enough later on, like, they would just randomly get collected, and they actually do end up dying. Because sometimes some champions with built-in, like, shielding and healing, like Riven and, like, Hecarim, like they sometimes might not be able to live with that 1 HP like healing. Like let's say they're like low, they might not be able to live sometimes from that healing or that shielding that they have because like they might get collected randomly. So usually it's pretty nice to build that, but yeah, I mean if you can go Kraken Collector into him, or you can go Triforce the more Reminder, I think those are the best builds. Like you just need to have a lot of off-road damage when you play against these champions who have a lot of like survivability in their kits. Gwen, I think, is actually quite hard to play when she's meta, just because it's like, I mean, she does pretty good into your champion, and like for you to hit her, you have to go into her range, and like you're an 80 carry, usually you don't want to play into a melee champion's range for fun when you have range advantage. So it's like, it's only hard if she's just scaling for free and she's farming and she like gets her items. But if you're able to get marks and get like, I mean, like your objective taking is also better than hers too, but like if you're able to like play for fights early on before she even hits like her annoying points, I mean you should be stronger than her at all points, most of the points in the game. This champ is getting nerfed though, so I mean it's probably gonna be a lot easier to play against, but I think whenever it, like, I mean this tier list, I mean it should be good for all year long. So yeah, if it's ever strong, it should be a pretty skill matchup, I would say. If they play it well. Like I'm talking about like this tier list is if they play it well and they're playing their champions good and like how they should be, pretty much. This is like the most what's the word? It's the most like precise like tier list. Like I can't do anything if like someone like is just trolling the match. I mean just take their free win. Ivern jungle is just annoying to play against. I mean, dude, like Ivern's just a cringe champion, man. Like he clears too fast, and then like if he has better teammates, like you can lose the game. But I mean, just play the scale and like farm well. Jack's jungle. Oh, Jarvan. Oh, let's do Jarvan first. I think Jarvan is more favored for you, just because you can dodge his EQ and you always do more damage to him. The only like kind of thing about this matchup is that both your champions are good at volatility. It's more his than yours. But I mean, you don't mind volatility because like, I mean, you're down to scrap too, right, as a Kindred. So just make sure you know if he's invading you or he's getting cheese ganks off. So yeah, just get like Raptor Ward. Middle river wards are good. Ward I like to do on both sides, which covers both, is like right, it's like right here or something, because it shows this path. I mean, it can be a bit better, right? It shows this path, and most drones, if they start the Raptors and they like decide to cheese you, they'll walk in. Well, okay, this line is like kind of demented. They will just walk in like this, and you will most likely see them, right? So it covers both sides, and you can do the same thing on this side too. That's what I like to do. Otherwise, you just ward your buff, and then yeah, play the game. Jack's jungle, I think it should be hard to play against, like really hard, because I mean he has his oh, what is it called, bro? I forgot what it's called. Like it just like, I mean you just kind of auto him back, like simple as that. No, just play the out farm and make sure you don't get invaded for free, because this champ does need a lot of golden XP too, right? It's just like yours. Well, you need more golden XP, but this champ needs a lot of resources to make work in the jungle usually. But don't randomly fall behind against him, otherwise it gets hard to play. Jayce jungle is skill / hard. If the player is good, it is hard for you to deal with him. One, because he does a lot of upward damage, and two, if he commits, he can always go hammer form and just like get his damage off and E you away, and then like you might not be able to like stick onto him basically. So it's a pretty hard matchup overall. I mean, it's whoever snowballs, like I would say like skill matchup section is like whoever like just plays the game better and whoever has better like kind of teammates potentially, better snowballing in the game, will usually come out ahead in the matchup most of the time. That's how it should be. LeeSin, when his meta, I mean he's actually strong, is one of the most unplayable matchups, because I mean he does like, I mean, he just does everything. He can stat check you. He's strong in skirmishing, good at objective taking, he's literally good at everything, and he just counters the hell out of you because with his ult too. And the champs he's paired with, so usually the champs that are paired with Kindred, that are good, like Syndra, let's say, are also good against Kindred, and especially paired with like LeeSin, it's like kind of disgusting. Like it's like very hard for you to play. But like if you have like something like Galio in the game with you and like your verse like mage with LeeSin, I mean you can somewhat play the game. Just Galio just needs to like protect you and then you play. Lilia I think is such an easy matchup. I mean she literally can't fight you. You can dodge her Q, you can space her Q, you can dodge her W, and that's like literally all her damage, and you always win the stat check. She is better than the other AP champions. Minus Dana. I mean, I think Dana's better than Lilia right now because this champion requires so much money. Like, she literally needs 3 items to be like actually strong. It's a complete I mean, just she scales very hard, but it takes a while to scale in solo queue. At least 20+ minutes, which is a lot, a lot of time in the game. 20 minutes is that's the whole game. Like average game time is what, like 25 to 20 minutes. Like, bro, that's most of the game. Game could already be over by then. Kayn is fair for you, but just like Bel'Veth matchup, just don't get cheesed randomly. Level 1, the most common cheese is he will just walk up here, just like the other Raptor camp, and he will play 2 take hits. One thing that you should do as the Kindred player is make sure he doesn't get into this bush early on. He can ward this bush early also to know if he cheeses. The things I do to play as Kayn when I play against Kindred is that I have 6th sense, so I know this is warded, and you can dodge this ward going all the way around. Or you can Q over this wall. Let's say if you see the mid laner not standing there, and then you can go around, and it catches people off guard. Yeah, I'm pretty experienced Kayn player, so like I know like how to like play around the cheeses pretty well. But I mean, most people won't do that. But yeah, just make sure you get like a ward here. You know, you can ward like these buffs too. Like if you think he's gonna level 2 invade you, and I would suggest starting a non-buff camp usually, unless you know guaranteed he cannot invade you level 1. Then you can start your red buff. And your level 2 is weak stronger than his, so you can play for level 2 invades if you want. Kha'Zix is a very difficult matchup. Because I mean, you're a squishy champion in the jungle. It's hard for you to itemize armor like Graves. Like Graves doesn't have as much as a hard time versus Kha'Zix as Kindred, just because he has built-in grid stacks and he's a lot tankier and he has smokescreen to play with. But Kindred, just like, you're like paper, so you kind of just die like super fast against Kha'Zix. So the thing to do in this matchup is to make sure you don't get level 3 invaded. That's 1. And 2, you just play around the teammates, because this champion's whole kit is around someone being isolated. So basically you can make the mistake of being by yourself. So think about it being like in a horror movie, and as long as you escape the cloud and you're with your team, I mean, you're way stronger in the group setting. So yeah. Also, if you ever catch him off guard level 2 invade, it's really good. I mean, you kind of kill him. So if he ever starts blue randomly and you can invade him, you should invade him, because he can't fight you back level 2. Level 3 is his strong point. Malphite jungle is just annoying. I mean, just scale, and if you guys also in some shit, I mean, just press your ults, flash it, and just play well around his ults. That's it. Master Yi is extremely hard to play against. It's kind of similar to Kha'Zix. I mean, like, his champion is also very strong level 2 invading. It's honestly better than yours. So be careful getting level 2 invaded. So first, let's cover that first. So the most common Yi invades is he does this, walks in, or he does this, and he can walk in this way or this way. And I've seen, okay, well, I don't know why I did this line so. These are the 2 invades I've seen Yis do very commonly, and they can always just sit in this bush and they will randomly kill you if you're like, you know, clearing down la di da di da and you're here and then you just die. So make sure you ward level 2. He does need to start his red side usually to invade. You usually start his red side camps, either his raptors or red. Either way, yeah, just play with your team. If you have champs that have CC, this champion is countered by crowd control. If you have it, you will beat him, or it's a lot easier to play against him. I'm not saying you will automatically beat him, but it's a lot easier to play. If you don't, good luck and buy Triforce and just play around the walls. If he ever decides to Q you really early, use the wall as your advantage. Q, hop back and forth, and use your range and just play a good. Try to play like 80 carry would against you. Olaf jungle, I think is pretty easy. Just be careful again, level 1 invaded. This champion is very strong level 1. After that, he's kind of whatever. He's also a champion that needs to like land his Q to be able to like fight you. So if you dodge that, he can't play the game. And if he has Ghost, no Flash, or even if he has Flash, I mean, just use your walls, B-hop everywhere. And in terms of items, I mean, I like building Kraken against this champion. You could go Triforce more Reminder, though like it's a bit weaker in terms of damage, but I mean, you will definitely be stronger at your 3 item. But if you snowball with Kraken, I mean, he literally can't fight you. Like, you just completely stat check the hell out of him. And you can also Kraken more Reminder, by the way, guys. You don't need to go Collector, so just keep that in mind when you play. Also, Kraken Bork is very nice against a champion like this. Having the extra HP, lifesteal, and the MS grab from Bork is very nice. Nocturne, just scale for free. It's basically team diff. Like, if they have Nocturne or Orianna, just be careful getting comboed. And just play on top of your teammates with their ults. I mean, it's a diving champion, so your champion's pretty good into dive usually. So, let's play around that. Mordekaiser jungle, pretty easy to play against. I mean, you can dodge his abilities, and the champ is just a piece of shit, bro. Like, he just walks around and he's super slow. So, I mean, you just stat check him. The Fury jungle is 60-40. It can go either way. If you ever get like randomly cheesed, you caught off guard, and he like hits you from the bush first, he can actually like run you down just because his damage is pretty high if he snowballs. But either way, I mean, just farm and just scale. Both your champs need to scale a bit. And the Fury before used to spike a lot sooner in the game, but nowadays like she needs to farm a bit more. Needs to get her 1 item. So just both of you guys just farm and just play off your 1 items. And also versus Neferi, when you're playing against her, just don't waste your E, because if you E and he W's it, it's pretty bad. So try to hold your E, and it's kind of a guessing game, of course, but try not to like E at a bad time if you can. Try to like kind of bait it out, and so you can like actually like secure the kill. Nidalee is I would say a skill matchup. I think it's like kind of like Jayce, but she doesn't have like the giga upfront damage. But the champion is very good at tracking and very good like poking you down and just playing like any kind of game. She can play a slow game, she can play a volatile game, she can play a fast with volatile, same thing. She can play any kind of game she wants. She's very good at it, and the way to kind of kill her, I mean, it's kind of on her to mess up, or she like you randomly trap her with like your teammates, because like her mobility is like kind of high. But the thing is, like, good thing about Kindred versus Nidalee is that you stat check her, you have more upfront damage than she does, but she's very slippery as a champion. So Rengar is just like very hard to play against. Very strong, level 3, very strong, level 6. Just a shit ton of damage. Literally the strongest assassin in the game, pretty much, in terms of like scaling and just damage wise in the early game. Make sure you don't get level 3 invaded. He's a very notorious level 3 champion. Someone who does invades a lot that you will notice, so you can like kind of learn how the invades work, is like Scrum Noob. He abuses level 3 invade on Rengar a lot when it's good. If any good Rengar player knows how OP level 3 invade is, I mean, I used to play Rengar, so I know how to play around it, but sometimes, I mean, you might get team death, so most likely, ideally, you don't match the Rengar on the same side of clear, so you can kind of avoid him. But of course, you can always play to invade, right? So, I mean, it's kind of team diff. You can also play weird clears against these kind of champions. Or if you want to make sure you secure your camps, is where you can, like, let's say if you start reds, you can just go into your blue side, do this, and do like a clear like this. You know? If you want to do a different kind of clear, you can start your wolves, and you can do this. And you go to your raptors, and then, yeah, secure all your camps. Because all that matters is, like, make sure you secure your camps, right? And also with the new Kindred thing where your mark on crab, I don't know when they'll fix this. I don't know when the person watching this video will watch it. But right now, currently, at start of Season 16, her mark doesn't show on the crab till 3:15 if you're 0 marks. So, yeah, I mean, just make sure you clear your camps. And then eventually you just play for whatever crab is up. And just respect his 4-stack combo. I mean, it's just unskilled. I mean, champion refuses to die. It's just annoying to play against. Nunu is just annoying. Nunu and Elise are kind of the same boat. Make sure you can like, track them. It's just that Nunu is a bit weaker in the 1v1. He can't really fight you back. He kind of has to. He needs to take phase rush, and he kind of needs to like. I mean, he's just gonna snowball you and walk away. Like he can't fight you. So your job as a Kindred in this matchup, if you always can play to invade level 1, level 2, level 3, and just make sure he doesn't get free ganks off, because then you guys can scale. I mean, you always outscale this champion as long as you're farming, and you always do more damage to him. So just kind of match his volatility and play the game. Kiana used to be a hard matchup because how like statted she was, but I think now, I mean, maybe it's skill, maybe it's 60-40, but I'm gonna put in skill for now. I mean, champion's weak, level 1, 2, so try to invade early if you can. Otherwise, just farm and just be aware of her, like the grass thing, like where she keeps going grass and like pokes you out. In terms of damage though, I think you do win in damage departments. It's just that when you E her, she can go stealth, so it's only downside. Pantheon is 60-40, I think. Honestly, it's kind of like team diff. I mean, he doesn't really beat you in terms of damage. Just that he can E, like he can block your E damage. But yeah, it's kind of team diff. Like if they chain CC you, I mean, you will die. So just don't. And also, when he's Panth W, like he's trying to like Panth W you, right? It's like his CC ability, his crowd control ability. You can buffer your Q in that animation. So let's say I'm gonna draw it like here. Like, let's say like you're here, and like, or actually, like, you guys are fighting here. He sees you, right? And you jump over the wall. You can like buffer your Q and you can be over this wall, so you can space them and make distance. It's kind of weird like drawing, but like, yeah, if you get it, you get it. If you have any questions about that, let me know down in the comments below. Rek'Sai. Oh my god, the bug. The bug happens. I have to restart the... And, yeah, we're back. So I didn't realize you can sign into this, well, I know I said top right, but... Yeah, we're back. Okay, so... Yeah, we're here now. So I want to fix up... Okay, easy is easy. This is whatever. This... Yeah, I like it this order. Okay. Let's put this one here. Oh, they're all pretty hard. Next champion. I mean, just farm against Maokai. I mean, he can't really punish you. You go Merc Treads or Wits End. Seconds. Nasus Jungle. I know, like, I have one of my clients that plays Nasus Jungle. It's probably annoying early, but I mean, he needs a lot of time to scale, just like you, but you scale sooner than he does, and your items kind of counter him. Like, the only thing that counters you as Nasus is his Wither, which, yeah, is annoying to play against. So, buy Mercs, buy Wits, buy QSS, and just buy Last Whisper ASAP. I think Kraken should be very good into this champ. You can go Kraken Bork also. You can go on hits like Kraken Bork, Cleaver, Wits End. I think this is very OP. You can play Kraken Left Whisper. But yeah, eventually buy QSS and just play around his Wither CD. Rek'Sai, I think, is annoying. Like, Rek'Sai, it's okay. So her level 1, level 2 is really shit. So if you can invade, like, I like invading level 1 if I can, with the whole team, so I can delay his Rek'Sai game, which is usually really good. If you can't do that, level 2 invading is not bad because now you can get a ward. Like, let's say the enemy Rek'Sai starts this, and you do this, right? You can get a ward here, and then you will know whether or not the Rek'Sai is like Vulcan or not, right? As long as you have one ward like over here in your bot side somewhere. But yeah, this champion just needs to gank, pretty much. So just be aware of it, and you should just outscale. I mean, champion's like kind of needs to gank and needs to get the first, like, it needs to choose a bush for her to like kind of like catch you off guard. So yeah, Rammus is very annoying to play against just because he's like kind of a anti-AD carry champion with his W. The build I like doing versus Rammus is I like buying Bork versus matchup specifically, or going Kraken Bork, just because I think lifesteal is very valuable, especially when you're taking your self-inflicting damage to yourself. So yeah, think about buying Bork, going on hit, or playing like Bork Triforce LDR, and just scale with items and marks, and you should be fine. Shaco is just a cringe champion. I think I'm gonna put him in annoying. I mean, if you just don't get cheese level 1, level 2, level 3, I mean, you're like fine in the matchup. But so make sure you have a ward either here or here if you're red side. If you're blue side, make sure you have ward on his raptors, or maybe you can destroy his boxes. Ward here, and you should be fine. I think the Shaco cheese is still the same. I mean, he just walks in your jungle level 2, so just be aware of that. I actually have not seen Shaco. I don't know why. I thought Shaco would be more played, but I guess like now with how hard it is to invade as much as before, I think if it actually goes wrong, like his game is over, I think. So yeah, I do have a Kindred versus Shaco video coming out very soon, so you guys can watch that. Maybe it's in this guide. I actually don't know. Cause yeah, I'm working on a lot of things while I'm making this guide, so yeah, stay tuned. Morgana jungle is pretty easy to play against. I mean, just dodge his Q and you scale for free. Just a free scaling matchup. Remember, easy is just free scaling. 60-40 is, you might have to fight back a bit, but you can scale. And these are like, yeah. Orange jungle, free scaling. Riven jungle, I think it's pretty hard. I think it's completely on the skill level of the Riven player, but it's probably like not bad. Just that, I mean, I think Riven requires a lot to work, so I mean, as long as Riven doesn't get free plays and randomly gets gold and becomes Viper Riven, like, you should be fine. Just farm. Space her well, you know. Rumble jungle, I think, is hard to play against. I think so, because the champion, if piloted well, had like basically they're managing their heat well, kind of like stat checks you, it kind of runs you down if he lands the harpoon like his E. So make sure you dodge the E and try to respect his overheat pretty well. I'm gonna put 64 because I do think it's still favorite for you, but yeah. Nico jungle, I mean, this champ can't farm reds, like, surely, so just scale for free. Level 2 invade is pretty good into Nico. Shyvana jungle is very easy. I think this champion is very weak. When he was stronger, maybe it's like 60-40. Kayn needs to farm a lot, just like you do. I think currently, it's easy. She can't really punish you, so yeah. Skarner, easy, just farm. Can't punish you. You can cheese him level 2, level 3. He can't fight back. He has to literally bend over. Savage jungle, really easy. The only downside is that he can grab your ults whoop-de-doo. In terms of damage, I mean, you completely stat check the shit out of him, and the only way it's ever a rough matchup is if yeah, he just gets like 50 cheese ganks off and like he's just stat checking you with like a shit ton of gold advantage. That's like the only way possible this champ can even be good into Kindred. Trundle jungle is pretty easy to play against. I mean, let's say 60-40 because like when Trundle's strong, it is a bit hard to deal with in early game because if you ever mess up your Q, I mean, he will run you down. Like he will actually murder you with his pillow and everything. So you kind of have to be mindful of like how you use your abilities and then just space him well and cut him. But yeah, your job against Trundle is just to like farm well and hit your items, and then like you're just an 80 carry, and Trundle's just a shit stain later on into the game, so can't do much. Udyr, okay, honestly, if Udyr's easy, then Trundle should be easy. Udyr is like the easiest matchup in the game. It's literally team diff if you ever lose to Udyr, most likely, because your champ complete counters his. Like Udyr players usually ban Kindred. I mean, before when Udyr was played, maybe it was banned, so surely they still ban it now. Unless they think Kindred's weak. But yeah, it's completely unplayable just because like you counter his whole kit and you always do more damage than him. So I guess the only thing that Udyr can do that can be good for his game versus Kindred is he can play for your Raptors level 1 and he can cheese you. I guess that's like the best advantage he has. But other than that, like I mean, you completely like destroy this champ. Talon, I think is annoying to play against just because he can randomly just like snowball the game where you can cheese your Raptors level 3 invade you. If these things all happen just like Shaco jungle, this champion doesn't do that well. It is stronger than Shaco in every way possible. They're like kind of similar, like they kind of need to be ahead of the curve to be useful, but Talon definitely has way more outs than Shaco does. I think Shaco is just completely useless if behind. But yeah, just be careful about Talon, be careful when he takes ignites. Yeah, he does do a lot of damage. Dodges W2 with your Q if you can, because then he won't be able to proc his passive. And buy Triforce, buy your cloth armor, and then yeah, just play the game. Just play the game. Low 2 is pretty good to him too. Good into him also. Vi, you thematically countered the champion. The only bad thing about playing as Vi is the champions it's paired with usually counter the shit out of you. Like Talia Vi. Talia just completely counters you. Syndra is annoying to play against. Orianna can be annoying to play against, but it's mainly like Talia. I hate playing against. Like I don't even care about the Vi. Like it's just the Talia champion is too OP. So try to early invade and delay her 6 is your job. When you play against champions like Talia and like Nocturne, specifically, you want to delay their 6, so because that's like their strong points, right, as their champions. But your strong point is from level 2 onward, right? You're strong and you can always farm, you can always fight. So try to like capitalize on that. Viego is a 60-40 matchup. It's favored for Kindred because you out damage him, pretty much, and you can dodge his like Q and his W. I mean, you want to dodge his W more than his Q. Then yeah, that's it. I mean, Viego's just a skirmishing champion. If he gets a reset, he's strong. If he doesn't get a reset, he's useless. And yeah, I mean, it's just a keep winning champ. If he doesn't win his skirmishes, he's pretty useless. He is getting buffed on the second patch of Season 16, so he might be a lot stronger. But I mean, still Kindred favorite regardless, because like your ult counter his ult. But yeah, he is a good snowballing champion. Whoever snowballs most likely wins. It's not a skill matchup, but because I think it's more favorite for Kindred. So yeah. Sejuani, shit stand, very easy to farm against, very useless. Can't really punish you. I guess it's annoying if it's paired with like Renekton Jax or like, you know, melee mid, and then like you can get ran down. But if you have good champions into it, I mean, you can't play the game. Xin Zhao, yeah, it's like 60-40. It can be hard because the champion is good into range champs because of his ult and the way he can play. Like, he can go onto you, knock you up, and then he does a lot of damage. And then later on, his ult is like Gwen, so like you don't want to play in this range ideally. So the thing to do in this matchup is just to scale and just play to try to bait out his ult if you can, and play around walls as like, I mean, once he uses his E, he can't really go onto you anymore, right? So yeah. And be careful of him like charging his knock up off a ward or a wave, and he like engages on you and forces you to like flash away or like burn ults. It might feel really bad for the fights. Volibear in current state, I think in general is pretty easy for Kindred. The only downside of the matchup is that he clears very fast. But overall, like, you kind of like, I mean, honestly, okay, maybe it's 60-40. Like, you can farm pretty well. He can invade because of his tempo, if I just clear tempo. But your itemization is very good into him. But yeah, I mean, he's just gonna play tempo all game pretty much. Like, he's always gonna be up on you in terms of his clear because like he clears faster. So you just gotta make sure you're counter ganking him if you can, and then like you're always farming, prioritize your farm, and then you fight him whenever you can, because like both your champs are good at skirmishing, but his champ is better at ganking than he is at skirmishing early on, while your champ is insane at skirmishing. I mean, your champ is insane on a lot of things, but yeah, that's Volibear. Zed jungle. Zed and Zac. So Zed, I think it's not skill. Is it skill? Maybe it's 60-40. Maybe it's 60-40. Just because like he can't really fight you unless he has a lead. I mean, he kind of like can't deal with a Kindred for the whole early game. The champ is kind of outclassed in every way possible. And all you have to do is go Triforce and you're hard to kill. It's only like late game, like mid late game, where like the champ is annoying to play against with his ults, but it's pretty favorable for you. He can't really punish you. Zac jungle is very easy to play against. I guess it's only annoying if it's paired with like Yasuo or something and it has like it's the bouncy house and they like sit on top of you, but like just scale for free, invade him level 2 if you can, level 3 you're a lot stronger than him and he will play around that, and yeah, just farm. Warwick jungle. Well, Warwick is like baby Master E. It's favored for you, but if you ever get cheesed, I mean he can actually run you down. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty chill matchup. I mean, it's fair for you. You can space him, just auto him, and he can't run at you. The way his kit works, when you auto him, while he's sprinting at you with his like the scent thing, if you hit him and he has like red buff, let's say, ticked on him, I mean, he can't run faster than you as you normally would. So just space him well. Urgot jungle, I think it's pretty easy. I mean, just dodges you. Champ is pretty useless, I feel like, in the jungle role. Zehen jungle, free farming matchup in my opinion. Can't really be punished, just scale for free. Shen jungle, it's probably just annoying, but it's probably easy. Just scale for free. I mean, he can't clear his camp, so you can. Wukong jungle is favored for you. It can be hard because champion's passive has armor, and the way he fights, I mean, he just knocks you up. It's just a bouncy house, so like, I mean, just buy Triforce and just play the scaling game, and then in terms of team fights, I mean, you just play backline like an AD carry and you should be able to win, usually. Tryndamere jungle, it's probably pretty hard. If he ever gets on top of you, so it's skill. Just be careful of getting cheese from a bush, I think. Whoever gets first hit will usually run the other guy down. I mean, even if you get first hit, I mean, you can still run you down and just like Sunday and just RNG his crits, but yeah, just be careful of like the farming factor of this matchup. Because whoever farms better, and if he scales, like he scales pretty well, I would say. Poppy jungle is just annoying. I mean, it's just like the mosquito in your face, on your biting your legs or whatever. I mean, like, it's just annoying. It's just a brat champion. It just pisses you off. So just keep a strong mental farm and don't hug a wall, so you don't get flash E'd or like just get eaten normally. It's a brat champion. Annoying. Teemo jungle, it's pretty hard to play against. Honestly, it's like probably skill. I mean, it's pretty hard just because he blinds you, but I mean, your champion's better at invading, so just fight him early. Champ does take a long time to scale, so you're way strong on the 1-2 item, but then after that, I mean, Teemo will start putting in the work when his Q is max, especially. His blinds, you know? Lilia jungle is favored for you. The only annoying part, just like how I was talking earlier about Lilia and stuff, like, I mean, her E, so you can't really Q forward aggressively that often, but I mean, if you have flash, I mean, you just flash over and then you run her down. Just farm. Make sure you don't get cheese level 1. Most Lilia players, in my elo at least, they will try to choose your Raptors, and it's like a really good play for her too because she does it very fast. So make sure she doesn't choose these. So Ward level 1, and her level 3 is not bad. So just like, I mean, yours is good too. But if you ever find her, you get the first hit, she will most likely die, especially if you have Flash. Let's see if I'm missing any champion goes. Yeah, I mean, there's no one else to really talk about, honestly. But yeah, this is the tier list for Kindred. This is like your matchups. Most matchups are actually pretty easy in terms of isolation, but of course it's a 5v5 game. There's 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s, 5v5s. Like, there's a lot of different factors you have to consider when playing Kindred. But most of the time, if you're not level 2 invading, you're not level 3 invading, you're just clearing your camps, getting your marks, and then just itemize correctly versus the champion or slash their composition, and you'll always do fine. I mean, you're an 80 carry at the end of the day, so you want to scale regardless. So yeah, just play well. Watch my content. There's not many Kindred content to watch, and just focus on your mechanics, and you should be able to do. I mean, you should climb if you have good mechanics and you play your matchups and build well. Like, it's simple. Like, you're playing 80 carry. 80 carry role is rewarded with good mechanics. Of course, there's a lot more things than that, right? But the main, like, the thing you need to play these champs are mechanics. If you don't have mechanics, your success rate just decreases by a lot. You know, so. But if you have good mechanics, you have very high chances of just climbing just from skill alone. And skill matters more on this champion than overall decision making, in my opinion. So just be a very good team fighter, very good mechanical player. Pilot your champion well is my advice to you. So we're gonna go deeper into invading. I have a long video on it after some slides. But either way, the reason to invade is to get marks. It doesn't mean you can't full clear. I saw a comment a while back where like, oh, you're not supposed to full clear on this champion. I actually got like a headache when I read that, like, not a lie. Like, but invading is a one way to play the game, and it doesn't mean you should invade every single game, because some games is actually bad. But you won't know that once you learn the reasons for invading. There's like a checklist, and we're gonna go through that. So you can be that guy who invades every game, but you need to understand how volatility works and what camps to play for. And you know, when we have the gameplay VOD reviews later on of my own gameplay, we will talk about that. But you know, besides, you know, full clearing bullshit, you know, if you learn how to invade, this will allow you to hit 4 marks a lot easier than usual. And Kindred excels at skirmishing, so invading is very good for her. You can get a lot of advantages if you practice it. So let's go over more slides, and then we'll go over a long kind of invading kind of portion video of when you can invade and such. So setting up good situations. There's gonna be a lot of repetitive stuff because I'm gonna repeat it again later. But if you track camps and you capitalize on certain things that happen in the game, let's say a jungler overstays on the side of the map, or they gank and their camp clear is slower, you can play to snowball your marks. And this is something we're going to look at. And when you get the first mark on your crab, this allows you to clear camps faster, allows you to be stronger in the fights, and to start the mark system to where you can play for jungle camps now, because when you have 0 marks, it's only on the crab. But once you have 1 mark, it can now be on the raptor camp, it could be on the gromp, it could be on the next crab spawn. So being aware of what's going on the map is very important, which will allow you to get marks. And even if you don't get the marks, now you kind of have an idea where the jungle is, because once they take your mark, let's say, if you didn't take it, you know they were there 10 seconds ago. That's pretty much it. So let's look at one more slide, and then we're going to look at invading. how to gank. So you're a champion with a dash, right? So what I want you to pay attention about is using your wall hop to get you in areas where certain junglers just cannot be without needing to flash or showing on vision. You should take advantage of it, because this is how you can get unique kills, catch people off guard. And I'm telling you right now, in lower MMR especially, I would say below master, you can definitely abuse this because people don't really think about it. They're not really mindful about where a jungle can gank based with the mobility they have. When I played Nidalee in low elo, when I played Kindred low elo, I dropped so many kills because these guys, they just ward very aggressively and they think they're safe, but then I just peer behind them and then they die because I'm wall hopping over the wall. So understanding your gank angles is very important. Again, we're going to look over that more in the gameplay and VOD reviews of my own VODs, and a little bit in the video, Rift Kit video I have in the next section of this video. And when you're ganking, make sure to use your E to usually slow them or to secure the kill. So if they are already very overextended in the lane, you can hold your E a bit more. If you need to chase them, use your E right away, so you can stick onto them. And make sure when you're ganking that your hook, let's say if you have a hook champion or like a champion like LeBlanc, E, that they go first, unless you can go for it first, of course. But again, we're gonna look over that in VODs because it's better for you guys to get a visual representation of it. Okay. Hello. Well, we're gonna go over certain things. We're gonna go over, well, I copy pasted it, but let me write this down. Okay. Warding level 1, level 1 invade, level 2 invades, level 3 invades, dodging wards, how to snowball off your first mark, how to push past 4 marks, and advice from yours truly. So warding level 1 is pretty important, so you can start tracking as soon as possible. But of course, not every game. Sometimes you won't be able to get a level 1 ward. So you will start tracking camps when you know which crab is being taken. So if he meets you at the top crab, you guys did the same path. You guys both pathed up. If you guys pathed down, or if you pathed down and he's not there and he kind of shows topside, you guys did opposite clears. So building on that, warding level 1, the most important word to get is Raptor Ward. Very standard. For like this time, I mean, I feel like it's the most standard word that every mid laner should play for, even jungler, because you will know which side he will start. And second most important word, actually, I forgot, when you should ward. This game starts at what, like the waves start coming out like 55, whatever. Like that's when your camps start. The time you want to ward in the game is around 30 seconds or so, because the waves connect at like 55. So you want to get back to your camps, right? Another good set of words is if your top player can get it. If you want to ping your top player, you have to like kind of guide your team when you do these things. But as long as you know it, and then you tell when you see it, the angle for your teammates to do it, they will do it. I've seen it before. When I played in low elo before, they listen. Ward here, very great wards. If you can always ward the buff, that's also fine. But I think Raptor Ward is the most oh my god, sorry. Raptor Ward is the most ideal ward you can get. Now the next thing we're gonna talk about is level 1 invade. Level 1 invading is real, yes. It was better last split, but it's definitely still possible. You were doing it as Kindred versus Karthus. It was not bad. You can do it versus Zed. These champions are not that insane level 1, and your champ is not that bad level 1. You're stronger level 2, but you're not that bad level 1. And what you would do generally is usually you would start Q, and if you want to invade level 1, So you can play for the Raptor camp level 1, and most likely you will smite the big Raptor. And what you want to do while taking the big Raptor is you are hitting the small ones while hitting the big one at the same time. So everything does together. Next invade that you can do, level 1, is, you can cure this wall if you think this area is warded. And what you will do, you can go around like this, or you can go like this. One of these two paths. Let me draw this better. It looks kind of bad. You can go one of these two paths. Right? And you just fight the jungler level 1 with Q. And the game's going to be very volatile. And when you do these kind of invades, just make sure, once the invade is done, you fought it over the camps, whatever, that you prioritize leveling up your camps. The camp you can take is the red buff, because the red buff is very OP on your champ, right? But the blue buff is a buff that I would usually skip, because I would rather level up my camps. Blue buff doesn't necessarily spike me that hard. Red buff on a range champ, autoing, slowing them down, is very OP. As for the next type of invades, level 2. So level 2 invading generally is you getting level 2 either off a buff or off your Raptors. So let's look at Raptors first. The typical invade is Raptors, and then you walk in, and you can either you can play for this if you want, because they're easier to take than the buff. But you do end up leveling up his camps, so now you kind of need to recontest like at least one of his leveled up camps. But if you just do blue gromp, then play to gank afterwards. You can gank bots if you want, which is only the only I would gank. I will never go mid unless it's actually too free, because it's just too far unless you're planning to cross. But remember, like, the jungler can come bot side and then start messing with your ball in. But if they're fine sitting on the tower while you're trying to eat all your camps, that's also fine. But usually after I do this kind of vid, I'll play to recall, and most of the time when I do this invade while I'm doing the blue buff, I would ward like right here, so it spots both areas. It will show him, going wolves into blue, or if he decides to do some random level 3 rank where he knows you're in this bot side, you will walk like this and you will see him. So when you do this ward and you play to recall after hitting 3 camps and there's no bot gank, you can decide to walk either to top side, and if you do, you either fight him if you know he's here, or you play to level up the first camp you should level up, which is the wolves, because you can just hop over the wall. If you see him going to the bot side, you walk into bot side and you go fight him. And simple as that. You're going to be level 3 for the crab. You're never going to be hitting level 4. So keep that in mind. You're going to be hitting level 4 after the whole crab sequence. And you just play for whichever one marks, pretty much. Level 2 invade is pretty much the same thing, but you start your buff and then you go like this. Or you can go like this. And both work because, you can play to fight him on the grump if you do this path, same with this path. Or you play to take blue grump. If the jungler ever ends up starting that side that you're invading and he's on the second camp, you should always just play to kick him off that side of the map first, so always prioritize chunking him, then play for the camp. If you can't play for the camp, that's fine, because now both junglers will not be level 4 for the crab, and usually it is better on you. It's better for you if you're level 3. Your champ is completely fine level 3, so make sure you don't like shit your pants while doing this. There's another one you can do, is you take a blue and then you can walk here, you play for these 2 camps, and then again look for top, otherwise you recall, unless you want to fight the guy at the Raptors. Another invade you can do is you can do blue gromp, you do 2 camps, and what you're gonna do, you're gonna walk here, we can walk this way and just like W over the wall. Actually, so let me draw this better, sorry. You walk like this, you Q over the wall, then you W, then Q again. Or you walk like this, and you take the Kha'Zix. If you know this side isn't warded. Ideally, you don't get spotted while you do this. And the goal of this is to ward this while you're doing the Krugs, and then you're gonna fight him when, you know, he's la-di-da-di-da, you know, guys farming, you know, and then you meet him here. You're gonna fight this guy. And then you're level 3 because he did his camps. You're gonna have red buff. Now, the next invade is level 3. This is very standard. You should know how to do it. This is based off laner conditions. So 1, you win your 1v1. 2, you have pushing lanes on the side you want to invade. So let's talk about this side. You're doing your camps, you do these 3 camps, and you look to invade. You probably have pushing bots, so they can connect. Pushing mid. Mid can also be even, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you need at least 1 even lane, 1 pushing / winning lane on whichever side it is, whichever lane it is. Okay? So for level 3 invade, that is the checklist. Usually if you're thinking about level 3 invade, you already know you win. So the next thing you need to think about is look at where your lane position is. If the wave is more hugging on their side and they're like kind of winning, go for it. Of course, it's easy said as done, but you can only learn this by trying it out, seeing what went wrong, and learning, learning the process. Because I'll tell you right now, you will fail at it quite a lot. It's simple as that. So, the next thing is dodging wards. The most placeable wards usually are like people what they ward. To me, I consider it as a lazy ward, because to me laners should ward right here as it gives you the most information possible. But most people will just ward the bush. You know, you'll ward here. You know, with new phalanx, everything is like full vision, right? So let's talk about, more on the mid lane wards. So one thing you need to understand, when they ward right here, right, it will generally show you crossing here. It actually shows. So if you see the ward is placed there, yeah, be careful when you go that way. They will see you. The thing about Kindred is that you have a wall hop, so you can always go over walls. So usually you always want to go over walls while you're going to places. For dodging phalanx in current season, because when they ward here, and like this whole area is warded, like it's all like on vision. I mean, it's kind of annoying to play against, but I mean you can like play to like do this, go all the way around, and then like gank them. I guess is one way. Or you just send it and go through the bot and try bush or lane gank. That also works too. But knowing where the wards are, seeing, when the top laner, walks like this, obviously he most likely has warded somewhere. Pay attention to the minimap, I would say, is very important. But of course, this is a habit you must build. It's not easy to do right away if you're not used to it. I came from a StarCraft 2 background, so F keying, minimap attention, just gathering information is very natural for me. But if you're not used to it, training that will help you in the long run really like a lot. It's actually really fun when you're seeking information. It's kind of addictive. Just finding out what's going on the map, who's burning summoners, who's warding where, if jungler does this, can I steal a camp, etc. It's super fun. So yeah, be mindful where vision is and dodge it with your Q. There's a reason why champion with dashes, especially in the jungle, like Nidalee, like Kha'Zix is not that much. Kindred, are very fun to play because you can dodge wards and then you can do very unique ganks. You can go like this, you can go like this, you can also go like this, gank top. There's a lot of ways you can gank, so be creative. Now for snowballing off your first crab, when you get the first crab mark at 255, you get lucky, you hit the lottery. So we looked at where the marks are right earlier. So your marks will now start to be on the next crab, on the raptors, and the gromp. The easiest camp to play for as a jungler is the raptor mark because it will require you and your mid laner to have a strong 2v2 and it's very easy to take. Usually the side lanes will not be able to help unless like they're severely gapped and their support decides to move, etc. But usually it's a quick 2v2 mid jungle, and you guys fight over the Raptor camp. When you have Galio, especially, someone that can go in, I always force Raptor fights because Galio will stand in front of me, I'll hit the camp, and any 2v2 is good. If they go on me, Galio will peel me. If they go on Galio, I will kill them. Simple. So, usually, if you get the first mark off the crab, if you get the second mark off a camp right away, like if you just play for it, let's say on your second clear, imagine this. You guys both did your first clears, you got the first crab, you guys both base. You can play to skip camps and play for your second Raptors because it will always mark. It will always mark. You play for it, you get it, then the crab, the next crab respawn, will be your third mark or fourth mark even. Let's say if you went out on a fight mark. And that is how you omega snowball off marks. If you get the first mark, it also allows you to clear faster, which is very OP. Like if you get the first mark, your game is always good. It's no matter what, your game is always good because you can clear faster. And clearing faster is very important as a Kindred because now you're able to get invade opportunities. You can pull dragon, you can gank lanes sooner. It is very nice. Getting more gold on this champion means you will get your item breakpoints and you will carry the game. Now for getting past 4 marks, getting your 5th, 6th mark, 7th mark, you want to be a 10 mark Andy. The easiest camp to play for is the Krug camp because the way you can access it. So you literally just walk here and just take it. It's so easy to take. Like actually. Playing for wolves is hard because then you see shit like this. They like just collapse on you and you're just too deep inside the enemy jungle. Like you're actually like so screwed compared to playing for Krugs. I guess this side Krugs is a bit harder because their balling can technically like mess with you. But like Krug camp is just the easiest camp to take. Even topside wolves is just scary because you can get collapsed on by mid lane. But of course, you know, you play around your walls and such, and also you can always play around the buff marks. That one's also very easy to play around. So my advice to you when you're playing Kindred is training yourself to know which side they path to every game, and then realizing you know, their tempo. So if you see on their second clear, they're walking out of base, you know, their second camps are respawning, and let's say they do Gromp into bot gank, right? And you're already clearing up, you're here. They cannot be at this camp in time. You should just run here and take it, and it can mark if you already have 1 mark. So trying to understand where they are, where they can be, is very important because this will allow you to get camp leads, and getting camp leads means getting your jungle pet completed sooner, and also means you're hitting your item breakpoint sooner to where you can carry the game as Kindred, which is very important. Another kind of like advice I can give is building off, you know, tracking camps, knowing where your marks are, is don't be afraid to take fights because again, I'm gonna point out, just like earlier, you will struggle. I don't like most people will struggle and they will bitch and complain. It's not your fault. I mean, it's hard. I make it sound easy, but that's because I've trained myself over the years while playing Kindred, while playing League. I get better at these things because these are things that matter on improving your champion. Kindred is a great skirmisher, so improving your skirmishing ability matters more than knowing quote-unquote jungle fundamentals. Because Kindred, if you don't have good mechanics, if you don't hit your marks, it doesn't matter what jungle fundamental bullshit, whatever buzzword you have. You won't carry the game. Maybe you like by mistake carry the game. I'm talking about consistently carrying the game. That is what I'm trying to, you know, make a point about. So watch people. Well, we're gonna like look at it a bit after, but just play for marks. When I first started Kindred, I literally was sending it for every mark I can get and fighting around it. Even if it went bad, it went bad. But I mean, I didn't struggle too much. I didn't have that many bad fights because I was very good mechanically. But when I watched like other students do it over time, they got better at it because they understood why they were doing it. When you have more intention on why you're doing something and how it works, and like you do your checklist and see like, okay, I need these things to be able to do this, your gameplay will feel a lot smoother. So hope this helps, and let's get into into the next section. So for your early game, this is kind of a checklist you should follow. It's pretty simple. I think it's not too much to think about, but make sure you don't get cheesed. Level 1, get early vision of the jungler as soon as possible. We kind of covered that in the previous video, or the slide that we just looked at. And can you invade level 1 or 2 or 3, and which crab to play for, where's your CC, what is the most gankable lane. These are things you should naturally think about as any jungler. But of course, you have marks, so you gotta add that on top of your, skill set. For your mid game, I mean, it's simple. Just play for your marks. It's another kind of objective. And just play around people who are making stuff happen on the map. It's not that hard to play jungle in the mid game and late game. I think people overcomplicate it. I don't know where they watch videos or stuff, but I feel like they kind of confuse themselves. But usually, you want to play quadrant by quadrant. There's 4 quadrants on the map, so you're ideally clearing at least minimum 2 camps and then looking for a play, and there's nothing, you keep clearing your camps. That is how you should play the game after the early game. There's no full clearing really. You want to impact the map and then progress the game through dragons, getting towers, getting Baron, but usually, yeah, getting more marks allows you to be stronger in team fights and then winning fights for any neutral objective or even tower sieging. Now, for late game, it can't be that hard, guys. It sounds like kind of toxic when I say it, but like, I don't mean to, sorry, but you're an AD carry. AD carry needs their teammates. Just group. Just go with your teammate, ping them, blue ping, on my way ping, assist ping. Go, 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 let's group. Type in chat, 5v5 and such. Get with your team and position your champion. Again, we're going to look over VODs of me playing it, and I'll explain why I'm positioning in a certain area and such. And because your champion has a lot of mobility, again, because it is something that is very unique, a lot of champions don't have this much mobility as an AD carry. You can play a lot more aggressive, you can play a lot more in the front lines of the fight, you can play in the mid lines of the fight, or you can just be a normal backline AD carry and you use ult for your tank if you need to, and then you play the game. Let's look at some VODs and some of the slides, soon, and let's learn together and improve at our Kindred. What to focus on? So to me, honestly, marks should be the first thing, but honestly, practicing having good mechanics, having good ability usage while you're fighting, being smart with your ultimates, being smart with your hops, when you should Q4, when you shouldn't, having good clicks, good spacing, good positioning is very important. This will lead you to have good team fighting and allow you just to win the fights that will progress the game, help you get a Dragon Soul, a Baron, a Herald, a Mark, etc. If you practice this will allow you to get better at the champion. And I'm telling you right now, the difference between, let's say, me and the average Kindred player is that I play my fights really well. And then on top of that, I have good jungle fundamentals. But the thing you should focus on is having good mechanics. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter what good fundamentals you have, you will struggle along the way. It will take a lot longer to climb. As for me, when I play her, because I have good mechanics, I can brute force my LP because I can out-mechanic people. And it should be pretty simple on this champion because, it's kind of designed to outplay. After that, you should play the more basic builds like Kraken Collector, Triforce Collector. They're very simple, not complicated. Learn them pretty fast. And then knowing where your marks are is very important. We covered it throughout this video. So let's go into gameplay and then let's talk about marks, what I'm thinking about while I'm playing the game, and how I approach the game to progress the game eventually to get to my item breakpoints and eventually breaking the Nexus or the FF. Let's get into it. Okay, there's a lot of videos in this guide, and you know, not all of them are 1v9. Some of our games we're struggling in, some of the games are, you know, carrying. You know, we were gonna watch like pretty competitive games, a lot of them. Some of them will be stomps, so you know, stay tuned. But yeah, this game. Let me pause on comps again. When we look at their comp, they have very heavy dive, and they have just have random Zaranami. So right now already, I'm thinking about buying Triforce. Right now I'm doing my clear, boom, 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 and I didn't want to invade here because it's kind of hard to. Well, I don't have a ward for one, and for two, I don't know if Ekko has started Raptor or Red. So again, I have no ward, so I don't want to invade. I could start red side this game, and invade his bot side, but I think I'd rather just full clear down. I think this was my arc, full clearing a lot more than invading. So I want to just test it out, see how that feels. And also because of this was during the time the crab was bugged. So now it doesn't really matter too much, but I think I would full clear a lot of these games towards ball-in. You can invade if you want. It's a bit more flippy though. And here we end up at the crab. It doesn't mark because it was bugged, right? So now you don't have that issue. And we see Ekko here. So when you're playing for the crab, ideally you just ward both sides so you know when jungler can tap the crab, right? I'm here first because I double smited. That's the reason why I'm here so soon. And he's not. So here, you know, I play to fight him because my champion is stronger in the 1v1. And then here, I missed my flash and Bard salvages the play. I think my flash, it was just like, if I just position better, maybe I can flash out of it. But the flash wasn't too bad because I could have got chain CC'd by Nami and Zara if they flashed on me. So it's not like end of the world. Like, it looks super grief, but it's not bad. But Bard salvaged the play with his flash Q because Ekko still has flash. And here, you know, we take the portal so we don't die to Kiana. And we bait out a pretty decent fight because we do have a Katarina. Now they're still fighting. They're still fighting, and they win. And I walk straight to the top crab to see if I can get it. And it's gone. It is what it is. It's okay. We have one mark. So now, you know, this ball crab can mark potentially soon. And this Gromp can mark is by the time the next mark sets up, the Raptor camp should be taken by then. So the Raptors will never mark. So I walk to the ball crab that has marked. We dodge Ekko abilities. And here, I was confident we can play this because one, they're focusing me, and I already did my damage, right? Like both me and the Ekko are like similar HP. And Katarina is just a very good reset champion. So all she needs to do is just get a reset. And she does, and then what? Everyone dies. Never mind. Not everyone dies. Never mind, everyone dies. And we have 2 marks. Now we get back on the map. And here, I'm thinking about invading, just because I'm still stronger, and, you know, Ekko can't really get help. Trying to see if I can get some camps, and none of them are up in time, which sucks. Because here I thought his red buff can be up, but he started Raptors. Judging from the camp spawn, right? Because, you know, it would be up usually, but that means he did Raptor Croaks. You see him. So here I see him, right? Going to the Krugs, and I'm already thinking about invading. One, because I'm strong. My mid laner is strong, and my top laner is like in a decent spot. So playing for an invade is not bad. Here, you know, I check mid, I go through mid one time. Counter sees me here. They know I'm invading, but I don't really care. Like, I have Kindred, I have Katarina, if they focus me, and now we see Kiana's catching a wave. If Kiana decides to drop this wave to fight this, I can play it slow and let her keep missing CS, because she's losing a lot of value, like a lot of gold value. And here, I smite this. I mean, it's very easy to secure nowadays. We do end up missing Ambessa, otherwise, you know, would be an easier fight. And here I ult. Just reacted. Yeah, I mean, yeah, need I say more? I mean, my Katarina got me killed, but I think it's okay. He kills one. Not bad. But yeah, this play could have went a lot better if Ambessa didn't miss ult. But it's okay. From here, we just run straight to the bot crab. Should probably have swapped our mark to Ekko. Another like shebang over here. Like nobody knows. I flash. And we get another kill. I mean, that should have been my third mark. I take the blue, I take the crab, and then I look to try to impact bot. Again, you should swap your mark to one of these guys at least. Maybe you can get one on Nami or Zara. Here I would usually mark the Nami just because I would assume the Zara is like pretty much dead, and like maybe she like would have died here sometimes. So I would always mark the Nami here if I was able to. Then here, you know, Ekko pushes those out, and it's okay. Now, coming out of the map here, we have Kraken Slayer, and the reason why we don't clear our camps is because Kraken Slayer will allow us to clear our camps very fast, and if there's any fight that happens on the map while I'm clearing, after a camp, after 2 camps, after 3 camps, I can take part in it, but let's say if I didn't base, I just can't. And, you know, my base wouldn't change that much other than getting an extra Ruby Crystal, which is not bad, but I'd rather just base and get my, like, item. If you played well with ultimates, you don't really need Ruby. So here I go straight to my camps, do at least 2 camps, and I look to pressure the map instantly. And this, I always talk about this. You don't need to full clear every single time, every single turn. You can just do a quadrant and then look to pressure the map, and it's really good to do, especially in this kind of season where home guards is OP and you can run to lane and just impact lanes. And then here my top wants me to, my Ambessa wants me to help her, right? But it's not really worth it because, again, like, I just did a quadrant, right? I did 2 camps, and then I did grubs, which is my play. That was my timer. Now, I don't want to, keep pressuring on my timer because I'd rather just keep clearing. I'm playing Kindred. But, of course, if it's very diveable, like, it's 100% like he can die, you should do it. Just because if you do it when he plays over, let's say you do the play, it takes like 30 seconds, you recall, you just run straight ball with home guards, and then you can catch your camps again. But because he's full HP, he's sitting on the tower, it's very hard to, like, get a kill on him. So I decided against it, right? And then here we're just clearing, you see? Like, we're just clearing, and now, I mean, we can't contest the dragon, which sucks, but it's okay. We just run straight to the top crab. A lot of time, your marks, a good amount of time, you can just get it off the crabs, and you just contest them, because, of course, going to enemy jungle sometimes is very scary, or it's not good to do. You do need a bit more setup, or like a bit better conditions, like you have HP advantage, better 2v2, you know, you need to have lane pro. So, you know, playing for the crabs are always the easiest thing to do while playing for the crabs, or playing for the marks. And here, you know, we kill the Kiana, we clean up a kill, and if you notice, if I go back, you see how, like, I just straight up click down mid, because the home guards last longer, compared to walking through the jungle. And now, I go here, boom, 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 take the crab, and now we just go take his red, because he showed here, and I'm cracking. Tabas don't do anything to Ekko, but I'm very strong. And I walk top here to see if I can fight. And right now the wave's in the middle, and surely like Wukong wants to fight a little bit, and I have my top side quadrant to do. So this is like a over timer. Like I'm sitting here, you know, one time out of vision. And best I can bait it by using abilities, and nothing happens. It's not really diveable. I mean, it can be diveable, but you know, if Ekko's there, it can go really bad. So I rather just clear my camps. It's no risk. I clear all the way down. I do most of my camps here, and then I see that, I mean, this one just happened spontaneously. I just walk here, and I just walk inside the jungle, play for more. Ekko's doing this. I didn't smite this just because I wanted to hold it for the next camps. Probably should have, anyways, because my jungle item is complete and I get a lot more XP from it than he does, and also his jungle item just, you know, is delayed. And we're going Cho'Gath here. It's just a very good build to do. If you are playing well on this champion, going Kraken Cho'Gath are very good tempo items. It allows you to play for marks. You don't get one shots. very good in damage, and you're very flexible with your items. You can go Wits End here, you can go Lord Dominic's here, and yeah, I mean, on here or crit, like whichever one looks good. And here, you know, we run all the way top. If you look how I ran top, I ran through the lane from mid. You can do it even running through top lane through the lane. And, you know, we go pick up a free kill. And then, you know, we're just pressuring. We just keep pressure, pressure. We take heralds. Those guys are hitting mid. Not my fault. And now I'm looking to group my team to see if they need help. I'm trying to get hero time so I can save the Nyla. And I get out of here. And we're out. I just want to make sure I get my Troc first recall, pretty much. But I also want to like mess with their tempo because it will help me get the dragon. We end up killing Wukong. I think I'm dead. Yeah, I think I could ult it there, but I think I tried to grab the heralds and hold my ult. But I'm pretty sure I could ult it there. I'm dead. I don't have Triforce on this recall. Kind of blows, because I should have been clearing at least one quadrant before all this happening. So, in that kind of play, you should just prioritize clearing camps if you can. Don't try to do risky plays like that. That was pretty risky play what I did. Try to stop bases. But of course I could have flashed. And here I do, even though like my team is like kind of on the map doing something, red buff is going to spike me, so I do it right away. And then I go to my team. So here you're going to see Ekko is doing Ekko things. And then I'm playing slow. I don't have cooldowns right now. I mean, I can't really fight this. The fight was just too messy to play. I can't really like auto attack in that kind of fights. It would just be like an even trade maybe, but it's not worth to die like that. And here I'm just waiting for Katarina so I can play to clean up. And we didn't kill the Wukong here. I mean, we got knocked up. I mean, this is what it is. It was just a bad fight in terms of position. Now we just do the dragon, and we recall, we get our item, and we're planning to buy Wits End, just because we don't really need the Lord Dominic's yet. I mean, we have 5 marks, we have Kraken, so we do a decent amount of damage. The only champion that is hard to kill on their team is the Wukong, just because he has decoy, he has ult, he has a good amount of HP, he has tab eyes, he has a lot of armor in his passive. So as soon as we hit last whisper, not the full Lord Dominic's, we'll do damage to him. And then here, I'm running top because I cannot beat bot side. And you see, most people would just clear their Raptors and Krugs. I've seen it on Patreon. But it's better to try to progress the game and see where the wave location is on the map. The wave is going to their tower. So it's, their tower is, you know, siegeable. So I go cover my laner who's trying to progress the game. And then, you know, we end up fighting. And I just chased Ekko down. Burn his ult here because he would have died if he didn't. And we kill him. And now I just take my plates. Just profit a little bit. And then I leave. Oh, then I hit Baron because I thought it was Herald for some reason. And so yeah, here I'm playing off my top lane. I probably should have based right here. Just because I'm sitting on a lot of gold. But I wanted to keep pressure on the map because my teammates are on the map. Maybe I should like hit plates mid or something. But I think basing was definitely correct. I should have based for Recurve Bow and Null Magic Mantle. But we end up, you know, getting pushed top. But the Wukong can't play because I'm hovering the Katarina. And then we just go mid with a number advantage. So it's kind of like a macro play. Ends up going like kind of sus because Kiana ult is very balanced. You know, I just flash to the Bard portal and I get out of there. Now we're all out. And this is where you're gonna see like, yeah, like not having Last Whisper kind of is bad. I also didn't get a Q reset there. If I did get a Q reset, I probably still kill him. So as you can see, like Kraken is just that OP as an item when you do get marks. Like your marks will make up for the lack of damage. So here I end up buying Last Whisper just because, yeah, the Wukong. And I'm buying 2 items at once. And I only need the last Whisper. I don't need the full or Dominic's. It's enough to deal with the armor. Wukong's armor. But of course, if I play that better, I had my Sheen proc, and I just like got my Q reset, I would have killed him. Here, Ekko has to burn ult. I end up dying for fun. Team's fighting. I think they win this because they kind of went in, didn't kill anyone with their ults, and then they died. A lot of things are happening right now. Okay, cool. We just do Dragon. Kiana just doing Kiana things. And now we look to do Baron. And then we clean our camps. We want to get Woodside ideally. Here I pressure, see if Wukong over pushes. Now I walk mid. Now let's do a 1v9 play. And then we just keep clearing. We're still scaling. Barons for this game is kind of hard to use. I mean, we can get the outer towers, get the standing gold on the map. Tier 2, Tier 1 is considered standing gold. And then Tier 3 tower, the inhib towers. The towers are hard to break, especially with our comp where our sieging is a bit bad. So we have to play 2-3 lanes. But of course, yeah, I mean, the best way to kind of progress the game is just play around objectives. And then, you know, they have to play in our zone. Or someone does a hero play. Here we got Woodsend. We have 10 Jack of all trade stacks. So we're pretty strong right now. And then I'm walking too far up mid lane. And I think we're just fighting here. Yeah, I just take this portal. Can't really die. I mean, I'm pretty OP right now. Oh, for my Katarina here. Yeah, as you can see, even though he has death stance, I mean, everyone's hitting them with me. But, like, you know, if you hit with your teammates and you have, like, the components, you have marks, you know, they're not actually that tanky. So don't dwell, like, a lot of people when they say on Kindred, oh, you need Last Whisper to play the game, oh, their base armor, this, that, like just don't listen to them. They're all, like, it's just, they just tunnel on the ship and they try to cope. That's why they, like, you can't climb, or like people like can't climb in lower MMR. But trust me right now, as a challenger player, there's a reason why I'm challenger, and there's a reason why challenger players, they don't like completely are like harping on just like, oh, you must buy Last Whisper, because we know like when we should buy and when we shouldn't need to buy it. And that's why Collector is a very popular item to buy, while in lower MMR people hate on Collector, but that's just because they don't know how to play the game well. When you play the game well, Collector's a very, very strong profit item. And we're going to go look at some VODs where I do build Collector. Pretty sure I have 1 or 2. So, let's get into the next video. Because the game's over here, so, yeah. Okay, so this is a diamond game. Because this was during the time the weather was bad. So I was DCing. So I didn't want to put up my high elo account, obviously. Like, I'm not going to grief my teammates and my LP. Because I will like I've remade game like in lower MMR, so only I lose LP because it's just a waste of time if I'm DCing. Either way, I'm versus Shaco. The thing about Shaco, you just need to make sure you don't get cheesed level 2, and you know it's coming. So what I do here, I always walk here usually and just W this bush, because if they do end up walking this bush and take some damage, you know, they take a decent amount of damage. And then I play the ward. I asked my teammates for 2 wards. So the best wards to get is one here, just in case they do that one cheese where they do raptors and walk in your top side, so you know it's coming. And the other one is toward the buff, because that's the one where, you know, they do 3 camps bot side, or even just 1 camp and walk in your jungle. So here we're doing our red buff. We're gonna start red. We're gonna do it. So we're gonna do red. We're gonna do Krogs. Oh, never mind. I plan to invade actually. So reason why I invade here is because my champion is very good, level 2. And the second reason is, if Shaco doesn't end up starting topside, I can kill him on the Gromp. And reason 3 is, Shaco's gonna make the game volatile, so I will, you know, play the volatility game. Here, I actually messed up taking the Gromp, which was kind of crazy. And somehow I didn't get punished. Shaco didn't realize I was still here. So we both base. And right now, both junglers will walk to the bot cap. 100%. Like, why would they not? So be ready to fight on the bot crab. Here I play to kill the wolves real quick. And then I walk in and just being prepared that Shaco can be here. And here, he came over the wall with Q. He doesn't have his Q, his deceive, for like, what, 7 seconds? I think it's like a 9-second cooldown. So I have a long time to just fight him. And Shaco is only really scary pre-1 base. Like, he's really scary pre-1 base, or if he has a very strong base advantage over you. Like, he has a Dirk and you have a longsword. But if you guys both base on even gold, he's not as scary anymore with ignites. Especially that his deceive is on cooldown. So you see, like, even like if he had the deceive auto on me, I will still be like, I'll be like 100 HP less or something. Like, I'll still be pretty healthy. And we end up killing the Shaco. And now, I mean, this guy's just dead too, because he flashed on us. And in here, I think, I mean, I'm just trolling. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I just played it bad. I should never die here. I mean, you should just walk away, let your team do the job, and then play for whatever camps you can get. And here I walk straight towards my top side. One is because he died first, right? So he's going to respawn sooner. So he's going to take the crab. So I'm 1 mark. The next crab mark is going to be his raptor camp or the bog crab. So I'm just going to level up whatever camps I can and make sure he doesn't take my camps. And then I'm going to walk. Okay. So, okay, there's also Gromp. So in this timer, 3 things can mark after he takes the tall crab. The Gromp, the raptors, and the crab. So here I decided to play for his crab respawn. Just for the Gromp respawn. Just because there's no way in hell he doesn't go to his bot side. So I can take a leveled up Gromp camp, which I leveled up myself, right? And it's more valuable than playing for a level 1 crab. And right here, it's like a 50-50 whether or not the Gromp marks or not. And I win the 50-50. Feels good. And then I just play the base. Because there's nothing on the map. Top doesn't look killable. So I just recall. And I run straight to bot side through the lane. Okay, I didn't do it through the lane. But that's because I'm pulling wolves. If wolves weren't up, I will run through the lane. And then Shaco ends up dying ball in. It is what it is. So I try to... I mean, while he was dead, I just run towards his bot side camps because I'm stronger than him. So I'm gonna play to fight him. He does end up ganking. He does end up ganking mid. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. And then here, what I'm doing is that Shaco is gonna run into his bot side to clear camps. Right? He doesn't know exactly where I am. And here, I'm not playing to kill here. I'm playing to take his HP, so he has a harder time to keep playing this turn. He either has to clear camps and so he can regain HP off his camps, or he has to recall if I chunk him hard enough. That's my goal of like cheesing him here, because if I cheese him here and chunk him, I'll get the dragon. I do end up killing him though. I guess he used deceive again. I don't know. He's just trolling, and we earn ourselves another mark. Now here, most people would pull dragon. But I'm telling you right now, pulling dragon here is unnecessary because 1, they can't do it. And if they do it, he's going to lose more camps for it. 2, you can get it later on just because we're already winning. And Shaco's temple is really shit. And I don't want him to take my camps. And because you're playing a carry jungler, taking your camps is always going to be good. It's always going to be good no matter what. So the more you can farm, the better it is. So I clear my top camps. And then here I run towards my rise just because he wants to make a play and we can maybe invade his bot side. So here we end up going on the Akali. Dude, that guy is crazy with it. We kill him and we just take his camps because he's not showing. I don't know where he is. He could be on dragon. If he does take dragon, who cares? You see what I mean? He ended up taking dragon. And well, guess what? He lost 2 camps versus a Kindred who will carry this game through marks and item. Like, losing the first objective is not that bad as long as you're training it for gold, especially when their tempo is bad. So when you can recognize that, it's very huge. Now here I do the grubs, I do all of them, I do my top camps, and then I look to recall. And I think here, adjustments you can make is that you can run straight to the wolf camp and take his wolves for a mark just because he's showing bot side. He can be that guy, kind of guy, or you can just do what I do. You just do this, do red, and just recall and look to pressure the bot side of the map. Like what I do, I just run straight bot side of the map. You know, there's war happening down there, and you know, I just come here, up on tempo, and I play cheese their support. Wait, he like Loki kind of knew I was sitting there. He like W'd there randomly. And yeah, we're trying to kill the Ashe. We get another auto. And we get another kill. Jayce is coming. Press R here. Pretty early. Probably unnecessary flash. But it's fine. We end up dying here. Probably did need to die, but it's okay. And then, you know, out of base, all our camps are up, but there's a dragon spawning in 2 minutes. And there's a red buff spawning. If you can get to this red buff in time, like I say it was spawning sooner, and let's say it was like kind of reverse where Shaco's like still dead and I respawned, you can potentially run to his red and play to fight him, but because I cannot get there in time, I just play the full clear down and play for the next dragon. Because it is the best for my game to do that. So here, we're here, and now we're like, you know, we're bot side, so we're gonna pressure bot side. Gonna let Wolf do his job there, get another kill, and now we probably look to do dragon. My Rise did end up dying, which is it sucks, but looks like I fight here. Also, one thing about Kindred is that your E, if he ults, you will know which one it is. So just a quick little tip. Boom, you get a free kill because we know which one it is. And then yeah, we walk the dragon, do dragon. And here I try to play for more camps, but there was a pink here and they can easily defend. I can get randomly Ashe ulted and die, so I don't risk it. I just leave. I get my collector, and now I look to clear my camps again. I just do one quadrant before I make a play, unless of course something's happening, and I look to pressure the map again. I walk into the top side, here I saw that Kali burned Shroud, so that means he cannot play little mini games with me in stealth, so I can just kill him quite easily. And then Shaco ended up being here. I killed the clone by mistake, but it's okay. We killed the Shaco, and now we get the Herald off that. And we base right away for Merc Treads. Again, playing for the Wolf camp is very far, so I rather just base and just play to go into mid bots after doing my bot camps. Merc Treads have high value here, they have a lot of CC, so here I do my camps while my team's coming on the map again. And then I look to make a ball play. I almost do end up killing this Jayce. It's actually kind of unlucky. He's like, yeah, it's like pretty close. I think 50 more HP, he would have died. Like one more Wolf W auto, he would have died. And we end up heralding here because, you know, tier 2 money is very big. Ballin's already, my Ballin who's mid lane right now is already doing good work. And you know, we push. And here, there's another fight here. We're trying to salvage the game a little bit. And we're not really too scared just because our conditions are very good. I probably could play this save the Lulu, but I don't think it really matters. I think you just play for yourself, play for your gold, and then we end up getting 2 kills. Here, my Rise is still fighting. We go to him. We collect that guy, and we just take all the camps. And we look to recall here. Here, I'm planning to buy IE. Drake is spawning 50 seconds. So here you can do your top camps into Drake. But I think doing Krug's Raptors is like a lot. Like you're going to be very far. I'd rather just do my at least one camp, my Raptors, and then look to go to Drake side. Oh, here I end up trying to choose their ball just because, like, again, like, they're inting and it's pretty easy to kill. Okay, I end up killing no one. It's that one because of the poison tick. I mean, their jungler's dead. I mean, we're gonna get the dragon naturally. Can't really play here just because of the Zara ult. And now Akali's coming, so, I mean, have to be very careful here. I think I end up dying here because I failed my Q, otherwise I would live. I think Rise kills everyone here. Yeah, nice. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, a very like infights. Shaco's here trolling. We get another mark. Never mind, he took it. It's okay. We just do one camp. And I look to get the top crab because it's up. And I really want to pressure the map right now because I'm already very fed. I could farm items to get IE, but I think there's a lot of inters on the map. So if you look here, when Jay shows up here, you know, he's inting. And I also want to make sure I get the crab. A crab is a crab. This late in the game is pretty valuable. And it will give me IE gold anyways. So it's just like I can play with my team while doing all this. And then we're still pressuring the map. We're walking around as a group. You know, grouping up is OP. We saw which one it is just because of the mark. We get Zar ulted. We get out. We don't keep going. I'm guessing Shaco got chunked. We pull the Baron. I actually don't think this Baron was that legal to do, just because a Akali could definitely kill us. I play to R my teammates here. Probably not that good of an ult actually. Probably should have died here, not gonna lie. Should have ulted a bit later. Or I should play for myself, because as long as like 180 carries alive, that's all that matters. Here at base, I get IE Zeal. I don't need Last Whisper this game. They have no armor. So I can go Rapid Fire. I can go PD if I want. But usually I go Rapid Fire with crit builds, just because you can poke them down with red smites. And I walk in here. I mean, this guy gives me range, so we go. Okay. Couldn't really go. My camp got yoinked. And now we're just sieging the tower. Right? We're just grouping. Oh, so we got flanked here. I mean, this one, like... I mean, if you don't get flanked, you can play it. But yeah, we get flanked, we die. Okay. They all die, though. We walk out on the map. We play to contest. And, I mean, the game's just pretty much over at this point. So, let's get into the next VOD. And, yeah, let's see what else we can learn from this guide. Okay. So, this is a GM... It's like a Grandmaster game. Versus LeeSin, this is one of the worst matchups to play in general, just because he kind of just mogs you in the 1v1. But, you know, our matchups are not bad, and we have a Lulu, so, you know, Kindred's OP with a Lulu. Probably looking to buy a Cleaver or a Triforce this game. It's probably very important. Here, the classic, I always walk through this bush, and I press W. Then I ward it a good amount of time, and then I just do my red starts. And here, I'm not thinking about level 2 invading, just because I don't know where he's starting. And if I do end up making the game volatile, it might actually backfire, just because LeeSin is very strong. And 2, I'd rather path ball in here because they're winning, so I can play off them. Like, usually want to play for your enchanter lane a good amount of time, if you can. Well, like a Lulu lane, Milio lane. Sono lane I completely ignore, because that champ is omega useless. And then here, my mid is pinging that he wants to gank. If you are a Kindred, and then you look at this lane states, well, okay, is this gankable? It's only gankable if Sal's psychopath trades and fights you. But the thing is, my Raptors are warded, so I cannot go from top side. I have to go from the bottom side of the map to gank mid. But is it worth it? I think I would only decide that after my Wolves, because I don't know if Salas will play safe when he TP's in here, because you know, the guy's playing pretty much under the tower, and he has flash, so if he just flashes away and doesn't die, it's not worth my camps. It's really bad. So I just choose not against it. I keep clearing. A lot of time I like to ward while doing my blue buff. And then here, the mark's still bugged, so this is a pre-mark bug, or mark fix bug fix. And here we gank bots because they look like their ball never warded, and I can go around. You can also go around by jumping over the dragon pit wall. And here, you know, we end up going on the Kaisa. And okay, it was pretty obvious he was gonna do something like flash, just because. I mean, like, look, like, what else is gonna happen here? They're either gonna flash on you and CC you and try to escape, or they're going to just walk away. So that's why I already preemptively clicked back. And we end up getting a kill. Now here we hit for more, try to get his flash maybe. Couldn't. It's okay. We play for the mark. Our mid 1v2s. Nice. And now we just do our Krugs. We do our camps, do our Raptors. We're just claiming down. LeeSin ended up showing bot side here. He looks like he did 1.5 clear where he started Raptors, cleared all his camps, did his Raptors, Krugs, ganked bots. Pretty shit tower to die on, but the thing is, we do have a Dragon Tower potentially after our camps. So we do our camps here. And we look to ball in, see if ball in is gankable. So here, after my camps, I see if ball in is gankable. And it looks like they already won the fights. And there's a pink there. So I just pulled the dragon, but then I see the fight still going. So I'm like, oh, wait, maybe I should get off the dragon. Because I thought they won the fights. Here, yeah, I just go pick up my free kill. Smite the cannon. Okay. Kill Taric. And I played a recall here because doing dragon now is very risky. So rather just base. And we see Kha'Zix here. No flash. So we kill him. And LeeSin ended up being here. Looks like he skipped like every camp, no to man. And we end up living here. We skilled our ults and we live. And we played a recall. We almost have Kraken. So when you're this close to Kraken, you're 225 gold off. You should just clear 2-3 camps and then base right away for Kraken. Because you're OP. You're like 2 OP on Kraken Spike. So what I do here is I do 2 camps. I see that they gank top. There's nothing. I base right away. I skip my Raptors. I go do my bot side. And then I look to do the dragon. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Like, LeeSin's right here. Like, nobody knows. And I just, like, follow him, I guess, to bot. I'm pretty sure if he hit that Q on me and he takes it, he literally dies because I have Kraken. And now here, I just do my 1 camp and I look to pull dragon. Because, you know, they have to base and LeeSin has to catch camps. And I'm very OP right now, so I just do dragon. I want to progress the game right now. I don't really care about camps while I have full Kraken. I want to play for marks if I can. I want to play for objectives. Just take the objectives and then get off the map. Then here, I play straight for the Gromp mark. Just because we're winning mid. Their Kai'Sa's dead. Their Salsa's bots. And, you know, if LeeSin does end up coming here, I can kill him. I mean, everyone just won around the map. So I just, you know, profit off it. And I leave. I have 3 marks. And now here, I play to take 1 to 2 grubbies. And, you know, I just take 1. And here, I'm playing to bait. 1, because I have Lulu ult. I have my own ult. And, you know, Warwick is coming in with ult. So, and this guy already burned cooldowns. So I'm just hitting him. You know, they're kind of disconnected on enemy team. So I'm not too scared of fighting. And I'm just playing it slow all along the wall. Because just in case if LeeSin plays to kick me, I can always ult and still be in my ult. If you sit on the, like, more thicker part of the wall. And then, you know, they all end up dying. And this guy's just trolling too. Nobody knows. And we just dive him. We can watch this dive. Warwick is tanking. I ult for Warwick because I didn't know if he would die or not. And then I look to recall here. Why do I recall here? Well, 1, I can maybe potentially get his bot mark. And I already have enough gold to buy what I really wanted to buy, which is Tabite plus Ruby Crystal. Or even Phage, or even, okay, well, I go Hearthmon Axe, I don't know why, but you should probably buy Phage here, usually. I run straight to the bot mark, and get that, it's my 4th mark. Now I played to clean up all my camps, as they're all spawned at the same time. And there's no dragon up right now, for another 2 minutes. I think there's just no play, so I rather just clear my camps. But here, I decide against it, I go towards bot side, see if we can pressure. Just because they really want to fight, I mean, they're pretty strong. And we end up fighting here. They end up buying the bullets. If nothing happened, I would have just recalled and just walked to my top camps probably. Or just run straight to my top camps through mid. Either or is fine. And we just keep chasing here. We fight. Boom. Lulu ends up dying. We're getting as many autos squeezed in as possible. And here I walk across the tower because maybe LeeSin can kill my Yunara. And I was guessing right. I mean, if I didn't walk right away, you know, LeeSin could kill my Yunara. So I pressure on him to take the Q or not to take the Q there. And we earn ourselves another mark. And we just check his camps and we look to recall. think my recall got stopped here by the Tark. We do end up dodging the E. Let me just recall again. If Tark ended up fighting me here for some whatever reason, I would just fight him because I have Kraken, I have ult coming up soon, and my Lulu can come. So, you know, we just get out, get our Phage. And now we clear a quadrant. And then here, my warrior killed, right? And, you know, I have my ball in mid lane, so it's 2v1. LeeSin caught top. So that means I can play for a mark with numbers advantage. And in here, we play the fights. We ult the Yunara. And it looks like this fight ended up going bad. I mean, they're just 5. It is what it is. It is what it is. And here, they're trying to pull Dragon. They couldn't do it. We walk out. We clear whatever camps we can get. And then we pull the Dragon. And I'm pinging those fights. Any fight is good. I'm cracking Triforce. I have a Lulu ult. I thought this guy was going to flash on me or some shit. So I flashed. Probably should have kept autoing. Okay. For a little Warwick just coming in, mauling them, and we go play for another mark. Profit again. And we're just taking everything. We just take all the camps. Everything is ours. Here, I don't really care. I get Ambessa ulted. I mean, he's always gonna die. As you can tell, I have 8 marks, so I have 600 range. Then here, I see them fighting mid. So if they weren't fighting mid, I would do Herald here. But because they're fighting, it looks like, you know, they might go more. I go hover them one time, make sure they're safe. My support rage baits them. They fight. I get CC'd, but it's okay. We have Kindred ults. Couldn't kill that guy before he walked in my ult, so it kind of sucks. I think honestly I should have died here, but we do end up dying anyways. Kind of got lucky there that LeeSin like messed up his Q. I think we should have all died. They end up all dying though. Warwick is back. My goat, and yeah. And we buy Tab Eyes. Plan to buy Last Whisper here. Mortal Reminder is very good. They have Silas healing, LeeSin healing, Tark healing, a lot of healing. Serpents does have value to this game, so you can go Serpents after your Mortal Reminder if you want. Or you can buy Serpents now if you want, if you think the Last Whisper is not needed. But I think Mortal Reminders is too OP not to buy here. I think it's better than having shield cuts. I think you will kill them anyways through the shields. And then, yeah, we're just clearing our camps. And then here I walk top to get a free kill. Like gets it. They're fighting bots, doing a very risky fights. I just push mid, and I recall. Never mind, I fight this guy. He just dies, nobody knows, he just wanted to die. I get my full Mortal Reminder, so I'm very OP. I'm playing for Dragon, clearing every camp I can get right now, because my team is coming on the map, so I want to just make sure I don't randomly die, whilst, like, you know, while being on the map already. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is where it ends. So here, my thought process is that I'm very tanky with Lulu ult. I have Kindred ult, I have Flash. So as long as I don't get chain CC'd, I shouldn't die. So here, you must flash the Tarky. I didn't flash it right, but you must flash it. Unless you have Merc Treads or Wit's End, Tenacity here, to be able to tank the CC. Yeah, you have to flash it. Because you see here, I'm just chain CC'd, I died. I'm just dead. But if, let's say I flash, we can literally kill everyone. So let's go in the frame where if I flashed here, LeeSin will be on top of me right now, hitting me. And then Lulu can ult me. And then we can get some, then we can get an Ori ults. Like, Ori just balls here. Lulu, I'll be right here. Lulu will ult me. And then, you know, LeeSin can't really hit me because he'll be CC'd from Lulu ult. And then potentially we get Ori on ult and their front line will all die. And then I'll still be alive. Because I will have ult just in case after we kill these guys. I'm pretty sure I'm tanky enough with Lulu ult, and then we kill everyone, and then boom. But none of that happens. You see here, like, we could have killed the Tark if I was alive. I'm sure Orianna would have ulted him if I was still alive and hitting the Tark, because, you know, he would be one-shots. Actually, Orianna did mess up his ult there. And yeah, let's go to when I'm alive. We see there's a lot of fighting happening. So just trying to get to it and help our team. And we kill another guy. I think here we realized they were pulling Baron. So we try to walk in slowly. We do have Orianna ults. We have Warwick ult coming soon. So we just play for the fights. And I just played slowly. Play on the edge of the wall. So if I do end up ulting, they have to walk all the way in. So here, they're like they're playing for the fight too, right? So they're not going to play into us, into our range. They're going to play the kite back and make us walk into them to where they can fight us, right? So I'm doing the same exact thing. So naturally, most people will click back like this. So I will do the same here, because when I do end up ulting, let's say for my tank here, they have to walk all the way in now. And then I can hit them while they're walking in, and then there's no damage happening from their side. So we can just kill them. If you want to play it a bit different, you just keep hugging this wall, and you still do the same thing, and then you queue over this wall for safety whenever you want to. But of course I have flash, so... yeah. LeeSin's base gets stopped. Now they don't have Barons. And I just take all the camps because I don't think my team needs me for the siege. And now you look to recall. I buy Runans because they're all short range champions. Runans has very high value into these kind of comps. And I look to buy IE next. And here I'm running straight top. So you see here, like, my Warwick's pinging that, like, oh, he might push top. So I just get ready to like go to it. He ends up doing the push top, which should be illegal to do. You can always catch people like this off in solo queue, even in lower MMR. So if this is happening in higher MMR, you can definitely is happening in lower MMR. And you know, we get a pick, and now we click it down mid with our numbers advantage. Try to see if we can end the game while, you know, it's a 4v5. And I'm trying to get as much poke as possible on their team. I don't know if you heard my stomach growl there, but you know, that's besides the point. And, you know, we're hitting. We're trying to get the tower. We get one tower. We Orianna ulted. We're just hitting front. We just don't need to ult. We can let our front line die here, because as long as we just kill their team, and then we ult for our carries, that's all that matters. Don't really care if 180 carry does, because I still do enough damage to kill their whole team. And, you know, I'm just hitting them all, and you can just see the Runan's value is just insane here. And then we get the ult off here. And we get them all. And that's the end of the VOD. And we're going to review a couple more. And then, you know, if you have any questions throughout all these VODs, let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, let's get into the next VOD. Okay, so this is a VOD playing with Galio. If you guys didn't know, I always say Galio Kindred is really broken. It is the best pairing to have as a Kindred. Because Galio and Kindred, both, in a way, complete each other. Galio has engage, he has CC, he can set you up, and the way you guys team fight together, you can Kindred ult, and then you can Galio ult on top of it, and you know, so on and so forth. And Galio's peel tools are insane. He's literally one, if anything, the best melee peel tool in the game with his W and his E ability. That knocks up, his W has is just a AoE CC. So we're gonna it's a quick game because again, if I'm ever given a Galio and a Kindred, especially in competitive, in a very good spot, I'm probably going to 1v9 the game on Kindred. Because it's very easy to go do anything on the map because of how much firepower you have from these champions. From an Enchanter plus a Galio. You just have too much damage and too much HP. And too many ways of progressing the game. So, here, this game does become volatile just because of what Ahri does. And we took lethal this game because we're planning to buy What's Ends, go a bit on hits. So we're just hitting this guy, and this guy just ends up dying. Okay, whatever. Here, you can just go pull your red here if you want, but I do my Raptors just because I can potentially gank top here if I want after my 3 camp, or I can just recall and spend my gold and walk out on the map and just have a very strong base for the crab. I won't be level 4 for the crab, but I'll be level 3 with a very strong base. So I just do my camps, I do everything here, and I look to gank top one time. And I'm pinging that, okay, can you baits? I just channel my recall here. If Ekko doesn't bite, I don't go. And then he ends up going, my cannon straight up ignites the Ekko. And I marked him, so I want to make sure I get the mark. Okay. Now, this is unrelated to jungle, but my Kennen blamed me that I ruined his lane here. Right here, this is a cannon wave, and another wave is coming because of the new home guards. Because remember, he's Ignite Flash and enemy laner's TP, so he's gonna TP and he's gonna like zone this guy. Our cannon could just recall here and walk on the map, and he will lose is one cannon and maybe like some minions. We can also just smite the cannon for him here so he gets XP. I don't think he one-shots it here, so he can last at it, but he can definitely base. He ends up staying, he ends up getting punished. It's never your fault. When your laner blames you for this kind of shit, it's never your fault. A majority of the time, a laner blames you, I'm telling you, it's probably you are not in the wrong a good amount of time. Sometimes you might be, but I swear more times than not, like, it's probably the laner's fault. But, you know, we base, we get on the map, one of our camps get yoinked. Oh yeah, also, like, our Dana, like, just killed our ball in, straight up here. It is what it is. And here, I play for the crab. I have a Galio, so they have to concede. They're ball in base. So I walk in, take the crab, right? This crab is mine. Okay? Because I have Galio hover. Here, I'm thinking about just running straight to top crab and skipping my bot camps. One is because this top crab should mark, because Raptors and Gromp is down. He cleared down, and he's on his bot side right now. And he can't really touch mine because there's a good amount of vision to protect it, and we will know. And if he does end up going for my bot side, I take his top side camps. And those are more valuable because those are leveled up. And two, their Ari is clicking up quite a bit far. Like, she's up pretty far in the lane. So, this is a kill. Simple as that. Agreed or agreed? Another kill. And guess what? This crab marks. Now, we run top here to see if we can salvage. We don't think we can. And here, I just run straight to my bot side to do my camps here. I think it was incorrect to do this. Maybe I should have just done my Krugs, then look to recall. But I don't think it's the end of the world. What do I do here? Looks like I just end up trying to just gank bot. So I think my idea was to play for the next Raptor respawn. That's probably why I'm doing this. So what I do here is I do my wolves, and I plan to walk along this line to play around my mid, and then walk in for the potential Raptor. And then here I think about, is this gankable? Can I look? These guys have no flashes. I also have a mark on Bard. Looks like they're clicking up too far, so I decided to go for a bot gank instead of the Raptor invade. Both are very good to do, just because they're both winning. And they both ended up not dying, which sucks. I think I just send it here, just because like this guy's no flash. And I thought I can get there in time, and which I can, because of the moon spray I had. And we end up getting 2 kills. And we look to recall, because we're low. Now here, I run straight topside. Just to see if I can salvage a play. I can also do a Krug camp while going up here. Ends up being nothing, and I base. And yeah, I flame my cannon. Yeah, don't try not to flame your teammates. I told him just get carried. Because he literally can just int this game and get carried, because I'll carry with a Galio Lulu no matter what. And here I just clear all the way down towards the bot side. I think about playing for Dragon here. So right here, I'm thinking about playing for Dragon. Dana did show up here and then making a play while I was on down tempo on my camps. And here I guess Dana just decided to push for more than she should have, and he ends up dying. I don't think my Galio needed to ult, but I guess he didn't want to risk anything. I do a little less damage just because of my rune. That's why I don't like taking lethal. It takes a while for it to scale into the game. I just do Dragon here because I'm already here. And I look to recall and buy my Kraken instead of doing my bot camps, because again, I just want to get on the map ASAP just in case if anything happens. I'm there for it. And also grubs are spawning in 30 seconds, and I'm very OP, so I would really like to contest it. And I'm thinking about buying Cleaver or Triforce here, because I'll double 80 carry. I can go Cleaver. Otherwise, I go Triforce. I do 2 camps here, and I think about contesting the grubs. And I decided against it because their Ekko is strong. And if he does end up going to grubs, which looks like he will, I can play for his whole bot side camps. So we end up burning Ari ult, and I just play for his bot side, and he realized that, so he tried to defend. And I'm staying his camps, and I keep pushing for more. And I mean, he just can't play. This is the reason why doing grubs down tempo when you have your camps up is really bad to do. And this is something you guys can all abuse in your MMR. And you know, I take all his camps, and this is more valuable than 3 grubs ever be. The only time it's not more valuable is if you randomly int with this lead. But if you don't int, you play good league, you have your item advantage, this is way better than getting 3 grubs. Always. 100% always. Here we're playing dive bots. And it looks like it's pretty hard to do that just because, I mean, my bond just can't, you know, push it in. And we just played the fights here. And I'm just fighting it because I'm pretty strong. And, I mean, I just played pretty well, I guess, around my marks and my Kraken damage. And then I look to recall. And now I do, so here, I have the option to do my topside camps and then play the game. Or, because their balling's very weak, I wanted to just do my bot side camps and just play the dot bot right away. But if I do my top camps, I have to skip my bot camps and then go there. But I feel like either or it works, but I'm closer to bot side doing my bot camps, so I just walk straight here. I pressure. Ori is clicking up too far. He dies even through Ori ult. And then I walk straight bot again. And we're just like fighting. Like, we only take 1 quadrant, we're just fighting. Because this is the kind of stage of the game, 10, 11 minutes, where like people are like about to get out laning phase. And, okay, well. And they want to like progress the game. You kind of have to read the game tempo. But it's like, I'm kind of forcing the fights because I'm a lot stronger and we can play dive them if we push in the wave. And this guy gets punished. Diana. And we just keep going. He flashes. He marks. We just go do dragon. We're just playing for whatever camps we can get. Then we get another mark, and now we play to clean up camps. Never mind, we keep pushing for more. It's probably better to do camps here because they're not worth that much gold, but you can just take a tower of gold here. That's also fine. We go Zerker Greaves because, I mean, we're already winning the game, so don't really care. You can go Woodsign here if you want to. And then when you have gates, it's very OP just to run to people's camps. So, you know, like here I just run to camps. And I really want to play the fights just because I'm very strong. And I'm picking my team, yo, let's fight this shit. I'm a lot stronger than they are. This guy is just dead. And then, you know, I keep pushing for more. And kill that guy. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's just the game. So, that is like a game with Galio. Of course, there can be, you know, I can try to get better examples of that in the future. But this is just one way of playing around it. I can show you guys the Raptor Invade Force, which is something that's very good to do with the Galio. I don't have any examples of that because it's pretty rare to get this champion nowadays. But, you know, maybe in the near future I might. By the way, let's get into the next VOD. There should be like 1 more left. So, yeah. Okay, this is the last VOD of the Kindred guide. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this guide. A lot of VOD reviews we can do. I mean, I'll do more content on this champion overall. But either way, this is a full challenger lobby. Yes, there are some diamond borders and I'm in streamer mode, but when I check the lobby afterwards, yeah, it's literally a 10-man challenger lobby. So, let's get into this VOD. It was a pretty hard game to play just because of the nature of their champions. And, you know, they have some OP champs like Dusk and Dawn Ekko. They have Jax. So, and we have like no engage. So, let's go through this game. We rush Wits End this game because it's really good into Leona, Fizz, Ekko, and even Jax CEC. So, reward here level 1, the classic. And I ping that, you know, he can start his bot side and he can look to invade. It's very natural Ekko cheese. And we're just doing a full clear. We're looking at lanes, and we're just doing a quick little full clear. Mid does, okay. We see Ekko, okay. We're just clearing our camps. And then we think about doing a quick little hover here, and we play for the crab. And never be afraid to fight Ekko, as your champion is a lot stronger. Level 1, or level in 1v1. Probably could have queued a lot more aggressive in that fights. And Ekko doesn't end up dying. We get a mark. Feels good. No, I think Leona rage baits us. And I think I die here actually. I like bait the guy to go on me. If I got my auto off there, I mean, he would just die. Let's be honest. But yeah, so it is what it is. We base, we run straight to our Krugs, we do our Krugs, we clear all the way down. He most likely has done the top crab mark, so that means the ball crab or the next raptor respawn will mark here. So we just get ready to play for it. The ball crab does end up marking. We go, we eat it, and then we finish our clear because there's nothing happening yet. And we play the hover bots, and I'm thinking about doing dragon because my bot is slightly winning. In here, I mean, Leona clicks too far. We have Zoe, Jhin. They end up winning this fight. So I mean, it's an even trade, I would say. It is what it is. I die. I walk on the map again. I have double recurve bow. Ideally, I want to get Withstand on this recall if I can. And here, my top laner is pinging to gank. So I'm just checking if I can one time. One small timer. See that there's nothing. I go back to my camps. I mean, if he fights after I leave, it is what it is. Can't do much about it. I need to clear my camps, right? So otherwise, it's really bad for my tempo. And then here, this bot crab is a crab that will mark because he did his gromp and he's doing his raptors right now. So I really want to play for his bot crab mark if we can. And I play for it. I get it, and I get out. Here, I'm waiting for the team to choose them. And I think they're going through bot side just because Ekko was clearing down and they fogged into the bot side. And I think here I fail ulted my Zoe. I don't know if it would have been good. I mean, actually, I do know it's never going to be good, but rage baits. And then here, they're trying to push for more. We're kind of homeless here. I think we take a very bad fights. I mean, their champs are a lot better in the skirmishing departments. And I get hit by Leona E. I flash into Ekko W, which sucks, and my mid dies. So it was just a bad fight overall. We should just not take it. We should just recall, base, play for grubs. That's what we should do there. And get back on the map. We can't really do anything about the bot side stuff, so you know, we let that be. And we noticed this guy warded the grubs, right? So I dodged the ward. I like ignore it. I evade the vision. And then I play straight for his grub. And then I look to pull a grub. I do at least one grub because they're all coming for me. And now I just do the Krugs. And then I look to clear down. And here I have full wits end. And I just look to recall. And you've noticed in the other VODs that sometimes even if I do have my item, I just recall right away, right? But because the game tempo right now is somewhat slowed down, I think the only lane that will have volatility will be ball lane, potentially mid lane, and we're probably gonna be fighting around the next objective. I can play to slow, like clear my camps a bit more, other than to pressure. But you know, in the other games, there was a lot of things happening, so I can be part of a lot of fights. So you know, farming camps is not as good. I mean, unless you really want to, but I'd rather be on the map and be ready for fights, as that is what will win you games, is winning fights and getting towers and neutral objectives. My ball lane is winning very hard. Ekko, man, they all end up dying here, I think. Ekko has no E. He just dies. That guy just ulted the air. And I play to push for more. Maybe we can kill this guy. He walked into the bubble. We get another kill. And you guys are probably wondering, like, oh, isn't Whitson first item trash? Well, if it has a lot of value into enemy comp, it's really good. Especially to have a rune like PTA, where it makes up for the lack of damage that I'm buying. And also if I get marks, the Whitson will scale on its own by itself. And if you look at my runes, I have cut down, I have PTA, I have Jack of all trades. I have a lot of stats in my runes, and I have marks. So because I have this item, it allows me to play a lot more aggressive, and I'm not as squishy as I could be if I went Kraken, right? So if I went Kraken, I'll be very squishy. I can get CC and I die. Even if I take Tenacity Shard, which I'm pretty sure I did this game. But because I went with Sen and I took Tenacity Shard, now I'm allowed to go Tab Eyes, which is good into the Jax. It's good into the Yunara. And I have Witsen and Tenacity Shard for their CC. So I'm covering every department. And I'm also getting value out of my Jack of all trades, because if you didn't know, to have full 10 Jack of all trades stacks, the easiest way to do it is to have Witsen and Tabas and then have your items. It's just the easiest way to do it. So like you're gonna see, I'm gonna build Cleaver next because I'm double 80 carry comp. It's pretty good to do this, these kind of comps. I mean, Cleaver has a lot of value, and if you have, and it looks like I'm gonna have a decent amount of marks this game. So you know, I build items that are good for the game tempo, fast-paced game tempo, and you know, just keep playing for marks whenever I can. Here I cleared down. Let's see. Well, here I'm just clearing down and I'm going through mid because my bot camps aren't spawning yet. So I'm trying to see if anything is happening. You know, this guy lives. And then we see here that their Ekko's here, and I'm playing to invade. I have Phage, I would send, I'm pretty tanky. I played a chunk him here, and again, the 1v1 is stronger for me. Yeah, it sucks that happened, but it's okay. He ended up ulting, and then he does. And you know, I have Witsend here, so I can ult in time. And I play to go right because I don't want to randomly die to Fizz. I want to make sure I'm alive because if I'm alive, I can profit a lot off this. I can farm these camps. I can farm the crab. I can farm the bot camps. And you know, I'm very close to cleaver. So playing for yourself there is very important. If you die, you end up not getting the gold. And your teammates will get the gold, but I mean, your impact has lowered if you randomly die. And here we're playing to see if we kill the bots. And we just pull dragon. And we do the dragon, and you know, I have my cleaver soon, but I don't have it yet, I think. So I'm trying to like farm whatever camps I can to get cleaver. And I think what I'm doing here is completely troll. I should have already have base for my item. Now I finally have base. I think I based 30 seconds too late, not gonna lie, because I mean I had my item for a while. I get back on the map because my Garen died, and they're probably on the heralds. I look to just go straight into their bot side and play for a mark. Because again, if I get the marks this game, we play for dragons. That is just a better win con than, you know, playing to take a bad position fight on the grub / heralds. So I just clear the camps, and then now I go back to my top side, secure my camps, and I'm just clearing my camps over and over until the next dragon. So that's what you should do when you stack drags, is you just keep playing around the drag timer, and you farm when it's down, and only farm when it's good. And here, you know, we saw Ekko earlier. You see here. We see Ekko here, so you know, we walk in. Ekko is just sitting in the bush, and we just have to be ready that he can W. And here I hit him so I can try to proc his ult. Probably didn't need to flash, but it's okay. And we walk in for more, try to walk in for ult. Yeah, probably wasn't that good to do this kind of play. I mean, it's kind of hard to walk in here. I'm 1 HP. Maybe I should check every bush while doing this play. Like, check that bush. It's probably good. But, I mean, it looks like it was pretty bad. I would get jumped anyways. Yeah. It does end up, it just end up being a good fight, though, randomly. So, I mean, it's okay. We get our tabas. Garen randomly dies. And we spawn the map. We think about playing for next dragon, so I cleared down. Boom, boom, boom. And now we're here. We're playing to pressure, trying to chunk. And here I'm aware that they have to go through bot because they're losing in mid lane. So usually when you're losing in mid lane push, because like you want to go through mid lane if you're winning, right? Because like you can get control of the area. You get more control of an area. But if you're losing, you usually go through side. So right here, it's pretty obvious they're going through side right now. So like I really want to like, you know, be able to counter this play. If I was here sooner and I committed to my play, I could have probably saved the Garen, maybe ulted him, and then, you know, it could have been a good fight. And here we're fighting, and it should be a decent fight just because they used everything on me, and we should be able to kill them. But I think it ended up going weird because my Jhin just didn't use his sums. I mean, this is a challenger game, so, you know, people should be serious. And, you know, they end up living. I think they get the dragon, looks like. I mean, it's okay. And we're going Maw just because of how much like AP damage, burst damage there is in this game. So here there's some my support's rage baiting them. So we killed them. And I'm paying like, can we do Baron? Can we do Baron? I was gonna ult for my Jhin there, but he ended up flashing anyways. I played the kite out. The ult, we probably can do Baron. It's probably a pretty bad call, not gonna lie. Still fighting happening, like people are just rage baiting each other. We're just hitting. I mean, if I had Kraken there, he would have 100% died. But my build does scale very hard, so like, it's okay. I mean, maybe we could have killed Diona, I don't know. They don't end up doing Baron. Looks like they're trying to do it now. That guy died. We have to give. Okay, never mind, we're contesting. Leona randomly dies. And I'm trying to like make them go onto me because I have ult coming soon. I have flash. I'm pretty tanky. I'm Hexdrinker, Tabi with Sen. And here I go on the Ekko because he split off from his team. I flash away because I don't want ults. So the reason why I flash right here is because if I ult here, their Ekko and Jax can potentially live because of my ults. So it's very grief to ult here. So I played a flash first so we can at least kill one of them, right? Because my Aurora has abilities. So I flash out first, one dies, and here I can think about ulting later if I really need to. But I'm pretty tanky, so I didn't ult yet. I was thinking about ulting that guy, but I think it was just hard to. And here, you would realize how I clicked. Is that I'm baiting them to kind of go on me. And if they go on me, if I rage bait them, I can ult. And you see here, I'm playing at the edge of my W so I can hop again and keep getting Q stacks. And then, you know, we bait a successful fight, and we end up getting the Baron off it. Nice. And we buy full maw here, so we're very tanky against their champs. It sucks we couldn't get Jack of all trades value, but it's okay. We're very tanky. We can't die and we can frontline because our issue with our team is that no one can really frontline. Like they all want to play their angle and play their poke, so like I kind of have to play it forward a lot more. And here I got Fizz ulted. I just walk out. I mean I would never die there because of how tanky I am, but and if they do end up going on me, I mean they literally need 4 people to hit me at the same time for me to die. And then here I just do dragon, and I'm pretty fed. I'm 11 marks, so I have a lot of damage. I'm very tanky too. So you see here, like I just keep playing forward like a complete maniac and just keep baiting fights just because any HP trade we get, any champion trades kills, champion kills we get, we can progress the game and get towers. So you know we're pushing, we got kills, and this is how you should play Kindred when you're kind of like the sole like frontliner in a way, like your other teammates can't do it, and sometimes you're gonna experience this kind of shit in your games. And here I get my max Jack of all trade stacks. Probably planning to buy Runans or Rapidfy here, just because I like that extra range to poke them down, or even just the Runans because they're all short range champions. Both are very great to buy, and I do complete my Jack of all trades. And here I'm clearing one time because everyone's coming out on the map, and you know my Yunar is dead, so I don't want to like pressure too much right now. My Jhin does end up ulting here, so we're already fighting, and we see Zoe get ulted. I'm trying to think about, you know, maybe ulting him, and then we killed the Leona and ended up being a bad fight. I think here, if anything, if my Garen just clicked towards me here, and then I can like ult him. Oh my god, he got my Zoe killed. Oh no, it wouldn't matter. Maybe it could be a playable fight, but I think it's just bad because it's 4v5 anyways. And I think I end up like just dying here just because of this Q4. So this was fine, right? But I mean Q4 was, I'm asking to die here. I end up dying. I do end up getting Jax flash here, so I think it's whatever. We end up dying. We burn ults. I mean, our ult C is very low because of how much haste we have in our build. Jack of all trades, cleaver, maul. We have a lot of haste in our builds, and so we're pretty strong. Here I think I just played to farm out item and get my item, walk mid, and then we're trying to pressure Baron now. So let's watch the rest of this game. I shouldn't need to skip through it anymore. Maybe skip through it one time. I mean, right now, again, we're kind of winning through mid, so we have to be careful if our sounder gets pinched. And then we go towards mid again, and we see them there. We chunk them down. We see get a little bit of poke. And you see, that's just me, by the way. Look. Auto, and look at my wolf. That's just 800 damage gone on this build. Because my wolf does a lot of damage. My autos do a decent amount of damage. My Aurora doesn't end up dying. I mean, Inara gets, I don't know. This guy's just trolling, actually. Now we just think about the next objective, because this objective is what we're playing for. This is what will progress the game. We're trying to see if we can go on these guys. They're really split off from their team. And I ward here. And then I realize, oh, I mean, Ekko is, he can only be here. Just don't give him range. Zoe is rage baiting them on the side. We killed the Ekko. We look to go more. That guy ends up dying. It is what it is. We try to chase a bit more, see if we can. I really want to pull dragon, but they keep pressuring, so you know, I cleared the ward. We walk in, vision is vision. We will see them walk in, and then yeah, we just do the dragon. I guess there's one more fight after this. I thought that was the last fights. You know, I cleared my camps, and I wait for my team here. You probably, after you do this blue buff, I think you should have already have based. You can get double pink with a red pot, or you can get like a ruby with a red pot or something. I think it's very valuable to buy. And then here, while I'm sieging mid, this is for sure the last fight. I'm trying to get my rapid fire auto, so my Jhin can W, and then maybe potentially we can, you know, follow it up with a kill off the Jhin W, the Jhin CC. And then here we're playing around the Baron. We start hitting it. I can tank it now because I have a decent amount of HP. And we get off it because, you know, we can't really tank it for that long, and they can definitely kill us. I mean, Baron shreds our resistances. And then here we open up mid because they're kind of illegally walking up. We just try to kill their front line, and they get chunked. And fight comes out. I mean, Jhin is just one-shotting them pretty much in this fight. I'm just hitting. And then, yeah, I mean, the fight's just randomly over. I mean, it looks like Ekko randomly died to Garen. I ulted my teammate here for fun, save KDA, and that's the game. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know down in the comments below again. If you guys want to watch more VOD reviews, or if you want to get your VODs reviewed, join the Patreon. And you can also check out the second channel down in the description below for VOD reviews. There's also I have a third channel that will be uploading extra gameplay on it, you know, if I have too many uploads. But yeah, if you enjoyed this Kindred guide, let me know down below. We're gonna go through one more slide, and yeah, and wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed this Kindred guide, and this is everything you need to climb on this champion. You don't need much more other than this. So yeah, other than like having mechanics and having just knowing where the marks are and having basic jungle fundamentals. As long as you are good mechanically, you should be able to climb on this champion. If you guys want more content, coaching kind of content, join the Patreon. Link down in the description below. If you guys want more content, like more VOD reviews, more kind of like extra gameplay, check out the second and third channel. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the future.